And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate you for that. There's a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over the news. The Democratic debate last night, a big time dumpster fire, no kind of cohesion, no moderation. You have moderators on stage for no reason whatsoever. They might as well have been just furniture in the building. They serve no purpose, which was kind of good to a certain point, because it's like watching a football game, basketball game, baseball game with no referees. They can just go out there and do whatever they want. They can travel, double dribble, all kind of penalties can just go unregulated. That's pretty much what was going on. Talking about, oh, we're going to have time limits for the answers and for the follow-ups. All of that went out the window. Joe Biden was getting kind of triggered, talking about everybody talking for too long. You got to scream too. Hey, if you got to scream, you got to yell, you got to talk louder than everybody else and talk longer than everyone else, then so be it. That's pretty much the game at this particular point in time. Joe Biden may not like that. Seeing as how his mental faculties are leaving him, he's not really built for the situation. But the debate was very entertaining. Since it was such a cluster, I don't think that there was a true winner. Aside from Trump, of course, which is the case in all these debates, because ultimately, no Democrat's going to really be able to break away from the pack and get enough momentum to be able to beat Trump anyway, so it don't even really matter. We'll talk about the debate and much more on tonight's episode of ABL Live, and I thank y'all again for joining. I most certainly appreciate you. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. That'll help me out tremendously, and I thank y'all for joining. The debate last night, it was just a little bit too much going on. Like, I like entertaining debates. I like debates where it's fire and a lot of different things going on, but give me a little bit of direction. Give me some, I'm not sure what the word is, linearity, if that's a word. Give me a little bit of guidance so I kind of understand what's going on from point to point rather than not knowing what's happening at all. That's my only point to make. But overall, it was an entertaining debate. Do you guys think anybody won the debate last night? I'm not really sure. Biden did as Biden normally does, and it was hilarious to see the media afterwards talk about how well Biden did, how strong he looked. Biden did not do well. He did not do anything beyond what we've seen him do normally. He was not strong. He looked as weak and as frail and as mentally compromised as he always does. So I don't see how the media could say that he did well. Maybe he didn't do catastrophically bad if the bar is set so low. Like, in order to do well in the eyes of the media, if you're Joe Biden, you got to just not do catastrophically bad. That bar is set so low, you can't even limbo up under it. You got to be the limbo world champion to get up under it. You might not be able to fit a sheet of paper up under that bar. You understand what I'm saying? The bar is super low, but I'll keep rocking. Joe Biden didn't do well at all. Bloomberg, like I said before, he's a manager. He comes in there and says, hey, I'm the guy that is pretty much going to delegate the situation, kind of the grown up in the room. But at the same time, I'm not somebody that's heightist, if that's a word. But the man's 5'4" on a good day. And there has been no presidents under 5'10" to win since 1900, aside from Nixon, not Nixon, pardon me, Jimmy Carter and one other person. Two presidents since 1900 under 5'10", and they were both 5'9". Mike Bloomberg, if he stands on his tippy toes, he might be 5'6". That's just the reality of the situation. When you get to the general election, people that are going to vote are not into politics like that. They may only vote once every 4 years for the president, and that's it. And if they see you and you look like you are not physically imposing at all, you don't, that's going to matter. That's really going to matter. And beyond that, his stop and frisk record, they kept attacking that. But he handled it, I guess, okay. He came at it from the point of view like, hey, I'm just trying to get things done. We did a little bit too much. We did a little bit too far. And that's pretty much the end of that. Pocahontas did very well to attack him in Nevada, but I feel like you can't really strike him in the same way back to back, because once you strike him once, it's already, you've already struck him. The wow factor is gone. You can't do it again. You can't duplicate that feeling. It's like trying to get high again, but that's a different story. I don't want to go down that road. The point is, you're not going to be able to get that first, big impact from attacking somebody like a Bloomberg if you're Pocahontas. So she did okay. She didn't do too bad. Klobuchar did pretty decently, I suppose, but not really that well. She had one nice little barb at Klobuchar. Not Klobuchar. She had one nice barb at Bloomberg. Pardon me. But no. It was not Bloomberg either. It was Bernie Sanders, because they were talking about the programs, how much they're going to cost. What's going to be the fee associated with this, sir? How much are we going to pay? Where are you going to get the money from? She was asking those questions, as was everyone on stage. And then she was saying, well, it might look good on a bumper sticker, but in reality, that's not really going to work out too well. I thought that was a pretty good bar. But aside from that, I don't really remember much from Klobuchar that she said. So the main thing that I heard in this debate was a lot of over talking, loud talking, wrong talking, and no moderation. The moderators might just will have been mute the whole time. Just put the microphone up and not even use it. What's the point? Just stand there and do some hand gestures, and that's pretty much it. Maybe have one microphone for a person to ask a question when the conversation gets dry. Aside from that, ask a question, let them fight, ECW style, WWF back in the day, cage match, and let them go at it that way. That's pretty much how they would do, because that's what was happening. Okay? But it is what it is. Low-key 73 says Joe Pesci would win, and he's what, 5 foot, what was that, 5'3", 5'4"? Truman, FDR. Well, yeah, FDR was in the wheelchair, that's right. But still, he didn't look like he was a small guy even in the wheelchair. Is there a reason Biden is still in the race? That's a good question, Matt. The reason why Biden is still in the race is for, I think, at least two reasons, pardon me. The first reason is because he thinks he can win South Carolina, and he might. And the reason why is because of the black electorate in South Carolina. All right. And New Hampshire and Iowa and places like that, Nevada, there's not a black population to really talk about at all. It's mostly white. And I think in Nevada, it's probably white and Hispanic. Not too many black folks, but in South Carolina, 2/3 of the primary electorate for the Democratic Party are black. So he's banking on the fact that he was Barack Obama's vice president to do very well in South Carolina due to the black support that he has. That is a hand-me-down from Barack Obama. The problem is that might not even work out, because his support is slipping rapidly in South Carolina. Because last year, I think in November or December, it was at like 44% overall in South Carolina. Now it's at like 27%. I think Bernie's at like 23%. By the time Saturday comes around, it can be split between him and Bernie might mess around and win. So I think South Carolina, all eyes are on that. If he does well in South Carolina, he may continue on and try to, fight it if it goes to a contested convention. I think it's going to be in Milwaukee. If he loses, he'll pretty much be done, because you've already lost all the other. You lost New Hampshire, you lost Nevada, you lost Iowa. So, and he lost badly. It wasn't even close. So if you lose South Carolina, where you thought you would do very well in a runaway fashion, it's over. So that's why he's still in the race. Oh, also because the Democratic Party wants him. They would rather have a Joe Biden in the race than a Bernie Sanders, because they look at Bernie Sanders as a radical, which he is, and they look at Biden as a moderate that has the ability to be able to win. That's what's going on. But he can't win Joe Biden or anybody else in the Democratic side. They can't win, but what they fear on the Democratic side is Bernie Sanders getting a nomination and empowering the AOC types in the Democrat Party. They don't want their party to go all the way far to the left. They want to maintain some type of centrism, or at least as close to it as possible, because that's going to affect them down the ballot. I mean, you're trying to hold the House, you're trying to maintain the Senate, you're trying to keep other local seats. That's going to be a problem if Bernie Sanders runs because he's so far left. He's going to turn off a lot of Democratic voters, and you're not going to be able to succeed. If Trump has a support, 95% in the GOP, big time support amongst people that voted for him in 2016, you got to be able to combat that with being able to gain new voters and at least keep your voter base. If you are not keeping your voter base and not gaining new voters, the math does not add up. It's a numbers game at that particular point. It's not even about who's better than who. It's not about that. It's about trying to figure out the math. If Bernie's your guy, the math is not there. So it is what it is. But thank y'all again for being here. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, Trump's definitely going to win, Booyah Mazi. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. It's going to be landslide Walter Mondale. Bernie's going to be the guy. It'll go to a contested convention, and that's going to be a problem. If it goes to a contested convention and then Bernie does not get the nomination, that'd be a problem right there. The Bernie bros are going to be upset. People are going to say the Democratic Party is rigged. They robbed Bernie twice. It'd be a disaster. So I think at this particular point in time, it's a little too late to try and fix it. So Bernie's going to be the guy, and he's going to lose because being radical like that may do well in the primary, but it's not going to do well in the general. He can't even really break away from the pack right now in the primary. So how is he going to be able to break away from Trump in the general? It doesn't make sense. And did you guys see Joe Biden talking about, I'm running for Senate, vote for me? It's like, sir, do you understand what year it is? Do you understand where you are? First of all, you're in South Carolina. Why would you be running for Senate in South Carolina? You were the senator in Delaware, but the last time you were in office was January 20th, 2009. It's 2020, 11 years later. Where are you at right now? Do you even know? I don't think he does. He's not fit at all. They might try to do weekend at Bernie's like it did with Hillary Clinton. And, quite frankly, that was kind of successful. That went as well as it could have went because she wasn't a popular vote. Being halfway, 1 foot in the grave, not even really able to move from point A to point B. If point A to B is 2 feet, she was not able to move. Even still, she was able to get that many votes. So don't underestimate people that are, the Democratic Party and money. They'll put all the money and everything they can behind him. They might even try out a hologram at a town hall. He might not even be there. It might be some CGI. You might not even know it. They may go and do things to that extent to make you think that Joe Biden is going to be the guy. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out one day that they had a fake Joe Biden on stage, a CGI clone. I wouldn't even be shocked. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense for the Democrat Party to do that. Why not? Okay, hold on. Rapper 10,000 says, heard what Judge Sotomayor said about Trump's stance on immigration and the court's ruling in favor of Trump. I saw a little bit about that, but I've not read into it too much, so I don't exactly know what's going on. Wasn't this whole thing about Trump said that they should recuse himself when it comes to matters relating to him? I don't know a whole lot about that, so I can't really say what's what on that. Now, Bernie Sanders is crazy because this man's got to be old as dirt right now. What, 78? I think he'll be 79 this year. Way too old, but his energy is through the roof. He had a heart attack, so it might not be that way for long because if you're 78 years old having a heart attack, you're not gonna really improve from that particular point. So it's only a matter of time until the next medical episode, and that's going to be a serious issue. If he goes out there on the campaign trail, let's say he's in, Nebraska or Florida or Texas somewhere and has some kind of medical emergency on stage in front of cameras, it'd be really damaging to him. If he's a nominee, how can you really overcome that? Now, I don't wish that to happen to him. I want all candidates and all presidential hopefuls to be healthy and secure and all this good stuff. But if you have a medical emergency on the road, which is already had because a heart attack came when he was campaigning, I don't think that it was on stage, but it could have been. If that happens, it's over. Like it'd definitely be Walter Mondale at that particular point. He might not win any states. Or they may try to put somebody in the 0 hour, but if you put a guy in at the 0 hour who has not been campaigning the way Bernie has for like 2 or 3 months, it's still going to be the same result. Walter Mondale all day long. Yep. So it is what it is. Oh, I saw Joe Biden, this might have been a week or so ago, say that if he knows that he may only be a one-term president because of his age. And he's going to have somebody in there as a vice president that can take over. So he knows that the end may be nigh. And he's saying, hey, we're going to put in a vibrant vice president to take over if I expire or I can no longer serve, if my faculties have left me permanently to the point where I don't understand what's going on. Now, my question would be to you guys in the chat, who do you think will be the nominee and who will be the VP? Will it be anybody we saw on the debate stage last night? Do you think that Joe Biden would pick, let's say, an Amy Klobuchar to be his vice president? Or I'm not really sure who could be the vice president out of anybody that has run so far. I mean, I'm thinking about a Tulsi Gabbard or an Andrew Yang, but I don't think they really want to be the vice president to Joe Biden. If so, then this whole thing about, we're going to do things differently and I'm a radical candidate, I'm an anomaly, that's all BS. It's just a marketing scheme. If you go for the guy that is straight, stone cold, stomp down establishment, you can't be at the same time talking about how you want to change the establishment, how you want to buck the establishment while being at the same time down with him. It doesn't make any sense. But, hey, we've seen stranger things. Stranger things have happened, so I wouldn't even be surprised if he were to pick a Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang to be his vice presidential candidate. The Greg says Hillary, Oprah 2020. Hey, I was saying Oprah and Michelle Obama, like people, that would be your best ticket. They still lose, but at least it wouldn't be Walter. It wouldn't be Walter Mondale. It'd be closer to Hillary Clinton. For real, like that'd be your best ticket, although they still lose. And I think the reason why they are not going to run is because they know that. They know I'm telling the truth. And people talking about Hillary for vice president. I heard that. I think Hillary came out and said, no, that's not going to, that's not going to be it. Let me see. Big Mama Michelle, that's right. Now, do you think Edge could pick somebody like Andrew Yang? That might be a match made in heaven because they're both kind of, different. Well, Bernie's a communist. Andrew Yang, I'm not really sure. He's Chinese, Taiwanese, but same thing, different story. Anyway, he may be sympathetic to the Chinese Communist Party. I don't know. Yes, he's from Taiwan or his parents are from Taiwan, but I mean, you got Taiwanese people that are, in China all the time, and it's not much of a difference. I mean, wasn't the story that Taiwan was a island that had people that were like the original Filipinos, like the Pygmies and whatnot, like people that live in Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, stuff like that. And then the Chinese came in during the Mao Zedong time to start their own government. Is that kind of how it worked? Anyway, he may be a communist himself, so they may kind of be on the same page, 1,000%. And speaking of Bernie Sanders being a commie, did you guys hear his comments about Castro and China talking about how they've been able to lift people out of poverty, millions out of poverty? It's like, well, sir, what are we talking about? How did they do that in China? What was the thing that made that happen? How did they go from an agrarian society to a capitalist one or a semi-capitalist? They have a communist government, yes, but they have capitalist ways of being able to make money. They're kind of a mixed economy. Communism, as far as, look, all right, we got the coronavirus outbreak, right? All right, you're in your apartment right now, so stay right there. Don't leave. We're going to come weld your door shut. We'll give you like a little a penitentiary food tray to give you some rice and stuff like that. But that's all we're going to do. You're not going to be able to leave. That's kind of how they operate in China. OK, you can go buy iPhone and stuff like that. But if they decide that it's time for you to go to a camp or you got to get welded in your house, then so be it. What are you going to do about it? One party system. People talk about the 2-party system. Try having the 1-party system. See how you like that. But anyway, he's sympathetic, Bernie that is, to China, to Cuba, and people like that. He doubled down on that during the debate, talking about, well, Cuba did do some good things. He raised the literacy rate. But my question would be, what was the literacy rate before Castro came in? How about the hunger rate, the unemployment rate? How about those things? Because as of right now, people are very hungry. I'm seeing documentaries of people hadn't eaten in days. They got standing in line to get food and basic necessities for their home. We in America, we get stuff on Amazon Prime or go to Wally World. Ain't none of that in Cuba. Ain't none of that. You're lucky to get a hunk of pork, let alone try and get some kind of luxury item off of Amazon. People living in really dire straits. That's the reality. And then on top of that, with the whole education program, the literacy program, what are you teaching them to read? Communist propaganda about how great Fidel Castro is and about how bad the United States is? Is that what you're reading? If the literacy rate was 75% before you came in and then 90% when you left, I mean, what are we really doing? It's not much of an improvement in my humble opinion, but it is what it is. Yeah, I saw that, Steve. Bernie was singing, "This land is my land. This land is your land" in Russia. Yeah, back in the 80s, Soviet Russia. He loves the communist regimes. Russia, China, Cuba, probably Nicaragua with the Sandinistas as well. So I don't really see how Bernie can be saying anything different. Thank you. Got my tea on deck. Yes, indeed. Got that good chai with the milk all day long, so I can continue to talk normally the way I'm supposed to during the actual stream. Yeah, Cuba's not a good place to be, and it's unfortunate, man, because you got a lot of good people that live there that are just trying to work, they're just trying to eat, that they're trying to do good, and they can't because of the government that has put them in a situation. What's going on, Jericho Green? I see you, man. Shout out to you. All right, thank you for Jericho Green for being in here. Y'all guys subscribe to Jericho Green if you've not subscribed already, 1,000%. And thank you all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, Johnny Law, Bernie was calling China China. I was like, sir, come on, man. Like, let's get but that's that old Brooklyn Jewish guy accent. That ain't gonna go nowhere. That's gonna be with him for quite a long time. And I suppose a guy like Bloomberg may say China every now and again as well. 1,000%. Yeah, they nixed the stream. Well, when I was streaming, they had cut it like temporarily twice, just for like a few seconds. And then it came back. And then what happened? After it was uploaded and finished, then they blocked it. And I tried to appeal it, and it was like, nah, it's pretty much going to be what it is. Yep. All right, now what else we got going on? Oh, Harvey Weinstein, your man got found guilty, finally. This had been kind of a long time coming. He did not get found guilty on all the charges. I think the most serious charge was I forget what it was, like some kind of serial offense, or like it was a more serious charge he did not get found guilty of. They could have carried life. He got found guilty of sexual assault, but not rape, on a production assistant. And then he got charged with rape of a woman, I think in 2013 in a hotel room. And I think the first offense I mentioned was in 2006 in a telly. So he's facing between 5 and 25 years. Who knows how long it's going to get. I think the sentencing is very soon, beginning of March, if I'm not mistaken. And he is in the penitentiary right now. He's in custody. He can't just go home, because he's already been found guilty. So he can't just go. Now, the next step will be, how long is he actually going to get in the penitentiary? Will it be 5, 25, or what? And I don't know how early release would work with that. I think he pretty much had to just, stay there and pretty much serve out his sentence. 1,000%. Hey, yeah, Jericho, if you're listening, man, people are saying you got to start doing live streams, boss. I think they like you live streaming, man. So you got to get on that, man. I think that'd be a lot of fun. 1,000%. Yeah. Now, yeah, that's right, Damien. Could Epstein be? Not Epstein. I'm getting ahead of myself. Could Weinstein be Jeffrey Epstein 2.0? Would he miraculously kill himself in the cell? I mean, that could happen, because the thing about Jeffrey Epstein was the fact that he had so many people that he knew, high-powered people, your Slick Willies of the world, Prince Andrew, the Queen's son, okay? That guy he had on his Lolita Express, taking him to the island, dealing with the underage girls and other heads of state, princes, sultans, and whatnot. Prime ministers, presidents, all of that kind of good stuff. So he had a lot of people that he could snitch on, and the elites might have been like, you know what? We cannot afford this, so we're going to go ahead and ice him right now. They're talking about, this man's 6 foot tall, and he hung himself from his top bunk. the camera on the outside of the cell just magically stopped working. The guards that are supposed to be right there walking by the cell every half hour were online shopping and playing cell phone games, going to bed, all this, that, and the third at the very same time. I mean, if I'm trying to just goof off at work and I have a counterpart, I'd be like, all right, what I want to do right now is go ahead and play with my cell phone, do some online shopping, get some stuff on Amazon or Wally World. Okay, I do that and then you do that. And then we could trade. But they go to bed at the same time. What's really going on? There were so many things that were inconsistent with that story. It just did not make sense to be a coincidence with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, with Weinstein, will it be the same thing? I wonder if he'll be in the same place. I'm not sure if he is being tried on the federal crime or how that works. I don't really know, because he got locked up in New York, and I'm pretty sure that the cases happened in Los Angeles. Could be wrong, but if he's in New York in the federal holding facility, he's in MDC or MCDC, if I'm not mistaken. One is in Manhattan, the other is in Brooklyn. I think MDC is the one in Manhattan, and that might have been where Epstein was. So he could be in that same penitentiary, well, not penitentiary, federal holding facility that Epstein was at. So who knows? Yeah, and if he gets hurt or dies in jail, you already know what happened. I don't want to hear no excuses. I'm not trying to hear, oh, the camera stopped working, the guards were in bed, they're playing cell phone games, they're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! On a Nintendo Switch. I'm not trying to hear it. I think we will all know what happened. It's the deep state. It's whatever kind of organization you want to blame that said, you have to go, sir, because you're too powerful. You have too many Hollywood connections. You're going to be in here trying to snitch. We don't have no time for that. We can't be getting this guy over here and this guy over there. Do you know that Bob Iger stepped down? Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney. He stepped down recently. I think he's still working with the company, but he's no longer the CEO. Now, why did he step down like right now? Right after Epstein gets locked up, he steps down. I'm not saying it's a connection, but is it a connection? You tell me. I want to know. I'm just kind of asking questions and drawing some conclusions in my mind as opinion, but not as fact, if that makes any sense. So it is what it is. But thank y'all for being here. Hey, it's all good. Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh! Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh! But thank you all for joining. Please like the video if you like what you're hearing so far. I'd appreciate y'all for doing that. And what else we got going on? Oh, yes. We got to talk about ABC News being exposed by Project Veritas. This was fantastic. If you've not seen that video that I did or the one that Project Veritas did, the original, please check them out. On my video, there's a link for that. Shout out to James O'Keefe, Project Veritas. You guys are doing the Lord's work. So they went to the New Hampshire primary, and one of their operatives posed as a, documentary producer, and he approaches the guy from ABC. I forget the man's name, David Wright, if I'm not mistaken. He approaches David Wright, and he is talking to him, chopping it up, asking him questions. And at a certain point, he just lets everything loose. He talks about how ABC is not really about news. It's about trying to make money, because let's back up a little bit. I just mentioned Disney, right? Bob Iger stepping down from Disney. ABC is part of Disney. So is ESPN. So when you see ABC, like Good Morning America, and you see somebody from the Avengers, it could be like a Halloween costume. It could be one of the actors. It could be somebody it could be a poster. All of that is cross promotion. Same thing with the nightly news. You may see something that's vaguely related to an ABC thing, but it's really to promote a movie or something. If that makes any sense. You may see a story about how a particular movie is negative and how it affects people negatively, but really it's a promotion for that particular movie because Disney owns it. You see, it's like little stuff like that. not that commercials, that's one thing. Commercials are going to be there regardless of what. I mean, we all know to expect advertisement in commercials, but one thing I learned when I was in school, learning about advertising, sometimes advertising happens to you and it can be kind of slimy when it does happen. You don't really like the way that it feels. It's like, I didn't like how they did that. They kind of snuck it on me, but that's what they're going to do over at ABC. And then we talking about Trump. They're not really trying to report on things that are positive. They want to report on the negative. They want to get the conflict. They want to get the reality show type vibe on the news. That's not news. And he had a great quote. He said, the commercial imperative is incompatible with news. That was 1000% real, because you got to get money, right? You got to be able to promote these movies, and the X-Men movie coming out, the Frozen movie coming out. You got to be able to promote these movies and get this money. Okay, the news and all that, that's fine. You talking about somebody lost their job in Wisconsin, this, that, and the third. Okay, that's fine, but that ain't gonna give the money we need. We need to promote these movies and get this bread. So what he's saying, the commercial imperative is incompatible with news, is right on point. And he's right. And people are starting to realize that. They're starting to realize, like what he said in the video, that the broadcast media are like dinosaurs and they're dying off. They're doing whatever they can to maintain their relevancy, which is why when Kobe died in the helicopter crash, they're reporting all kind of just wrong stuff, talking about all his whole family died. Why would they not vet their information? Why would they just put stuff out there? Why would they not notify the family first before they say something like that on the news? It's because they're trying to get money. It's all about who's first, who can break it, who can get the exclusive, who can get the most views, who can get the most clicks. It's all about money, 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 money. So your integrity as far as news is concerned is going to go down by the wayside. And this guy wasn't even a Trump supporter. He was like a Bernie bro, really. He did not say he supports Bernie or who he supports. He just said he does not like Trump and that he's a socialist. He believes in single payer health care. He believes that there are too many billionaires. He believes that there's a wealth gap. There's a problem with that. So you're talking about a lefty, maybe even a far lefty, but at least he's saying that the news industry that he's in, the job that he works for, is not really fair. Now, it's unfortunate that he had to say it while on candid camera, not knowing he was being recorded, and he couldn't just say it publicly. If he could say it publicly, then I'm like, okay, you got my respect, sir. But, I respect him for having that thought process, but he would get much more respect if he came out publicly and said it rather than, no comment, I can't talk about it, this, that, and the third. You understand? So that's what that is. But thank y'all for joining. Yeah. ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them, they're just trying to get bread. They're trying to get money. And this is why people are starting to go away from the mainstream media. They want to hear from guys like me and many others that are out there putting out information just straight from their house, giving their opinion about certain things, and also doing some investigation. I've seen guys that are on YouTube that have been able to crack cases better than police officers, better than news organizations with a bunch of money. Because when you get into these big companies, you have like this corporate structure that takes over. It's like a swamp in itself. Everybody's trying to get their piece of the pie. Meanwhile, you have one dedicated person that does not have the constraints of corporatism on his back that can do whatever he wants. He can get to the bottom of a situation. I think you'll see many more cases get cracked by regular Joes on the internet before you see them get cracked by the mainstream media, especially as they continue to decline. The decline he's talking about as far as becoming a dinosaur is not going away. It's not reversing. It's continuing to accelerate. So as long as that's going on, you're going to see more and more upstart people like me and many others, and also upstart organizations. I mean, people are saying, don't watch Fox, watch OANN. Okay, upstart organization. I don't even know if I could find that on TV, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. I know I can find it online. People are watching that more and more. CNN has a dominance in the news industry because they have viewers kind of in a stranglehold. When you go to the airport, CNN right there in front of you, you can't really change it. You can kind of tune it out maybe if you go onto your phone and find something to watch, or you just ignoring it, but it's right there in front of your face and you're going to probably watch it. And I was in the airport one time where they had not only CNN on the screen, they also had the audio pumping in from speakers above me so you could hear it clearly. I was like, wow, really? They're going the extra mile to make sure you get the CNN indoctrination. But that's how they have the stranglehold on the viewers, because they're everywhere. Their presence is so saturated, you can't really escape them. And they are translated all over the world. Go to Italy, they're playing CNN in Italian, straight, the same information, the same wrong information, misinformation, fake news over in Italy about America. So when you go to Italy and they're talking about Trump and things like that, they're going to repeat whatever CNN tells them, because how else would they know about what's happening unless they have the internet, and then they're able to find the real information rather than what they're fed through television from CNN being translated into Italian. But it is what it is. And what else? I don't know about OAN having to pay, but I mean, people don't mind. You know, at this particular point, people wouldn't mind paying for like one news organization to watch it, or maybe like a network of news to watch, because people pay for all kinds of things. They pay for Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Showtime, Stars. They pay for everything on a subscription basis, and you might have a cable bill too. So they pay for everything on a subscription. So it's like, what's one more? And it's kind of a weird thing with subscriptions. You can get some good ones that will take care of everything you need. Like me, all I have is YouTube Red, of course, because I'm on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. I need YouTube Red to function properly and do things I want to do. Like if I'm on a show live and somebody says, hey, ABL, watch this clip, I want to be able to post it on the screen and have it play uninterrupted. So YouTube Red is good. YouTube Red is good for that. And then I have YouTube TV. When I did my stream, I think that was what was that? Was it in Nevada? I think it might have been Nevada. I'm not really sure what the stream was, but I used YouTube TV to stream it. It comes in handy because it's online. It can be browser based. You can watch it on TV. Is very good. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have. That's all I need. Some have more, some have less, but I think it's all about what you need. So OAN, it'd be okay to have it on a subscription service, because you might only need that. You might only watch news and sports and that's it, or just the news, and have that be that. You know, it is what it is. Okay, OAN is provided on Verizon. There it is. I didn't know that. See, I don't have cable, so I didn't know that it was on Verizon Fios, but it makes sense. Oh, I was told that it's actually Fios by some guys worked there back in the day, but that's a different story. Alrighty, but I'm reading the chat right here to see what's going on, and I appreciate y'all. Oh, and if you are not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Hit the subscribe button, and when you hit the subscribe button, click the bell right beside it so you're able to get notified when I go live and or post a new video. Jay Renee says, I work on a Navy base and they have CNN on the TVs and in all the gyms. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hey, but not surprising. They probably got a contract with the Navy to play CNN that way, because it's not by happenstance. It's on all the TVs. I mean, that's not, because at a certain point I would think, okay, can you change that station to something else maybe? No? Oh, okay, it's got to be CNN. There's probably a financial incentive there for them to keep it right there on CNN. Oh, and if you guys don't know, this particular episode of ABL Live and all the other ones that I do from here on out will be available for free on an audio streaming platform of your choice, mostly on Anchor and Spotify and a bunch of others. If you search for ABL Live and your favorite audio streaming platform, I should come up. I think that we're going to be on iTunes any day now, if it's not already, because it take a long time to approve. You may have to kind of do the process over and over again to get it approved. But as of right now, I think we're on what? Let me see. We're on, let me just double check. Of course, we're on Spotify, Anchor, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and I'm not sure about everything else, but that is where we are right now. And next should be Apple iTunes. And matter of fact, let me see. I'm trying to see where else it can be. Where else they'll distribute it to. Let me see. Google Podcasts, of course, it's on there. Breaker will be next. Stitcher, Radio Public. So we got a few more that I could put them on. But if your podcast platform did not get mentioned, let me know and I'll see if I can make that happen. So for you guys that, the video might be a little bit too heavy to listen to download because of bandwidth purposes, you can just listen to it through your favorite streaming platform, and then that'll be what that is. I don't follow Q. I hear a lot about it, but I don't know much about it. Correctly outraged. I do this full time. Yes, I do this full time. TalkStream Live, is that a audio streaming platform? Is that a podcast platform? I've not heard of it. If it is, I'll check it out and put this on there for sure. All right, let me see. Yeah, okay, I answered you guys. I don't follow Q, but I know a little bit about it. I'm just not really. I don't know too much. All right. How does CNN afford all of this? Well, CNN has a lot of money. I'm not really sure who funds them or where the pot of gold is, but they have enough money to be able to afford all of what they're doing. So I guess their saturation will allow for them to ask for a lot when it comes to ads. That might be kind of their model. Just be everywhere, in every home, every airport, every naval base, anywhere, car dealership, doctor's office. And just the saturation alone will be able to generate a lot of ad revenue. Therefore, they're able to keep the whole thing going. That could be what it is, but I don't really know. Thank you, Jay Renee. Yeah, this is what's this? This is the pod mic from Rode. I like the new mic because it looks better than the other one. A tad more professional, and it also is able to capture my voice in a better way. The other mic, it kind of muted some of the fullness of my voice, but it's not too much to the point where my voice is sounding like distorted. I have a AT2020 from Audio Technica, and it has fullness in my voice, but it also sounds distorted. So it could be an issue with my voice. Just, it's just too much in your ears. It's not very pleasant. This is a nice balance. So I think I'm going to put a affiliate link for this in my videos for guys that want to get it for sure. Let me see. Hertbot says CNN gets $1 a month from me and I don't even watch it and can't avoid them. Wow. So that might be on your cable bill, I suppose. Yeah, you get things kind of just roped in there and it's like, what can you really do? Who knows? All right. But shout out to you guys for being here. We got super chats to read off right quick. Thank you to Matthew, who says economy could tank, Sanders could win as a communist. Good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. Because, the problem is the Democratic Party don't even want them. The Democratic Party are even trying to rebel against them, the same as they did back in 2016. So if you can't even get the support of your own party and there's no support for you on the other side, it's like he's not Trump. So I don't think it's going to really work. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Colette, who says, if Bloomberg wins, I bet he slides Hillary in for vice president. Hey, he said that he was thinking about it. Well, somebody said that he said it. I don't know if he said it. It's kind of a rumor. And then they asked Hillary about it. She said, oh, no, don't want to do that. But, I've heard lies before from the Clintons, so that's a different story. Thank you to Breaking the Chains Media for the donation. I most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Will Redding, who says Biden wrote the Gettysburg Address and planted the flag on the moon. and he also cured Ebola, talking about, oh, well, we save any lives. It's like, come on, sir. You're taking credit for a little bit too much over there. But you guys are great. The next debate will be in March. I think March 15th on CNN. I will not be able to stream that one because I know CNN will manually shut down videos and I don't have time for that. They give you a strike and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm not really a fan at all. Am I getting ready? Am I prepping for the coronavirus? I think the coronavirus is not going to be a big deal. It could be, but if the coronavirus is here or not, I think I'm as prepared as I can be. I got guns, I got ammo, I got some food. And I'm going to get some more food. I will always keep like canned goods, things that you can eat when there's no power or when you're running low on water and stuff like that. So I'll have that. But as far as anything else, I think I'm good. I'm not really worried about a pandemic happening. It's always been like this. It's like the way they're talking about the coronavirus or whatever its new name is now is the same way they talk about all the other things, H1N1, SARS, Ebola, everything else. They get you all scared. Maybe it's for a good reason, though. They get you scared so you kind of over-prepared. It's just like waiting on the hurricane on the East Coast. They say, oh, the big one's coming. And then when they get there, nothing happens. One time I evacuated. I was living at home with my mom still. And I said, we got to leave. The hurricane's coming. So we went all the way to West Virginia, like 7 hours away. And we came back. There was no damage. I think it might have been one tree branch on the ground and a puddle in front of the house. Like it had just rained. And that was it. No damage at all. But that's kind of what they do. They get you to be over-prepared so you're not under-prepared. I could understand that to a certain point. But it's like, all right, I'm not really afraid over here. As long as I'm just moderately prepared, I think I'm good money. Okay. Thank you to Vipe D, who says, ABL, have you seen the Trumpy Bear teddy bear commercial? I've not seen the commercial, but I've met the people that are behind that in life. Like when I was in Miami at the Ant Fest, the guy that made the bear was there. And I almost bought one, but they only had one left. And then there was somebody right beside me that wanted one. It was a lady right there that wanted one, so I went ahead and let her have it. But yeah, shout out to the Trumpy Bear. That's a cool little thing there. And thank you to Edward Mason for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Real ID, yes. You guys got to get the real ID if you want to be able to travel. If you do not have a real ID, you will not be able to board a plane, and that comes in place October 1st, 2020. So I'm gonna go ahead and get mine now. Or if you have a passport, like a recent passport, that'll work too. But to board a plane, you need either a recent, semi-recent passport or the real ID, because it has a chip in it. That's the key. It has a chip in it. Now, my question would be, are we gonna start checking illegal aliens for the real ID or no? That's what I want to know, because if I got to have the real ID, you need a real ID too, sir, or ma'am, or Z, or Zim, whatever your pronouns are. If you're over here illegally, you need to get an ID. Matter of fact, how about you become a citizen and then get the real ID? Since I need one, you get one too. Yeah, I mean, but see, I got Lysol, of course. I wash my hands a lot. I wash my hands all the time. Yeah. You can get a We the People hat on ablmerch.com. This hat right here is available. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the chat so you guys can just go to it right away. ablmerch.com. And matter of fact, let me give you a link to the We the People hat so you can just, get straight to it. Matter of fact, here it is. Yep. Now, the website does go to a Teespring site. That's my site. The hats are also available in the description box below this video. If you open it, show more, it'll be something here that says, buy my merch from here. Click on that link. It's a whole store. These hats and many more items are right there. Absolutely. No problem. October. Do y'all watch Amazing Polly? I've not heard of that person. But if they're cool, I'll watch them, but I've not heard of them. Isn't it racist? Isn't what racist? Asking for people if they're here legally? I don't care what race they are. They can be green from Mars. I don't care. Be here legally. Hey, the thing about China, it's going to be a problem with, it's going to kind of expose the U.S.'s manufacturing shortfalls, because we get a lot of our things from China. Now, I don't know how they're going to really screen the packages themselves for the coronavirus. Not sure how that works. I mean, can you catch it from like touching the surface that's been in an infected area? How does that really work? I'm not really sure. I saw a video on the news tonight on ABC News, ironically enough, talking about fake news anyway. It appeared to be some kind of conveyor belt with packages on it, taped up and everything, ready to ship out, where they were spraying some kind of stuff on it. I don't know if that was bleach or what, but they were spraying something on it. Uh, Advanced Strength Lysol. I don't really know what that was, but they were certainly spraying something on it. So is that gonna be what we get in the mail? Is that gonna come from Amazon on your front porch? And what if they don't spray it all the way? I don't know, but I'm not really too concerned about it. Yeah, I think like what it said, 80% of the antibiotics come from China that are in America. A little bit too much. We need to start making our things here. Thank you, oh hi bacon. Yeah, the sir shirts. Yeah, people were asking me about it for a long time. I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and do it. You know, I went ahead and just did it. Like at night, I was up. I was like, man, let me just go ahead and do it. That's my old graphic design hours. Matter of fact, let me put it on the screen right quick, if I can. I got the this, that, and the third shirts. I got the sir. I got all that, and I'll be putting more things on here. Just if anything's going on in the media or something I just feel like needs to be on the shirt, I can make any shirt because I designed it myself. So somebody can say, hey, ABL, put this on the shirt. I can open Photoshop and do it. All right, and let me see. So here's a sir shirt. That's just the plain white and black. But this is available in different colors. I have it in the white lettering with multiple colors and stuff like that. It's also available in women's sizes. This is a women's shirt right here. And then I have kid sizes and also a coffee mug. Where's the mug at? It's not right there. But I think the mug, hold on. The mug is somewhere else. But I do have a mug for this. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me find the other one. Oh, here it is. And I'm going to do the mug and white and other colors as well. So these are the colors that it's available in right now. And then, of course, the t-shirt, you got red. You have black, green, blue, whatever you want. So all that's there on ablmerch.com. Second Amendment. Yep. I'm going to do a lot. The coffee mug, what size is that? Hold on. That's a good question. Let me go check right quick just to make sure I know what size that is. Let me see. I don't know what size a coffee mug is. It's not telling me what size a coffee mug is. I'm gonna find out right quick and then I'll see. Oh, sorry. It's 11 ounces. Yep. So it's probably about, hold on. This is not one of my mugs. It's just a regular coffee mug. It's probably about this size, right around that. And my hands are pretty decent. I'm about 6'3", so this size is about what it's gonna be. Maybe, right around this size, but not as angled. It's gonna be just more of a cylindrical type of thing. Yep. But they're pretty good mugs. I have one somewhere around here. I have one. All right. And thank you all for joining yet again. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're listening on an audio streaming platform, do whatever you can over there. I'm not sure what you can do. Email it to somebody, upvote it, write a review, do whatever you want. Oh, also, I did not know that there's a way for you to send me a voice note on Anchor. Somebody sent me a voice note, and shout out to you for the voice note. I really appreciated that. But I can receive voice notes on Anchor. Now, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how that happened. But if you go to my Anchor FM, which is where this particular show will be available on Friday morning as an audio-only podcast, as will be the case with all my upcoming future shows for free, you can send me a voice note some kind of way on there, but I'm not really sure how it works. Okay. Yeah, if I can get bigger mugs, then I'll try to do that. But that's what Teespring has. That's kind of my limitations. It's easy. It's good for me to use Teespring because they manage everything. So it saves me time. I just design all the stuff and I put it on there and you guys are able to get it. It's more convenient. It's safe and everything is good. So it's kind of also a firewall between myself and the customer. So I don't know what's going where, and you don't know where I am. So it just kind of makes sense. A Popeye site? What is a Popeye site? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, now I think I can make tumblers. Hold on, let me make sure if I can. Let me make sure I'm on point. So if I can make tumblers, I might do that. Hold on. Can I make tumblers? Well, no, not yet. But I'm gonna contact them and see if I can pretty soon. But that would be cool. I may do like a secondary. I may just do like a secondary thing on the website where I can do other stuff. Okay. And what do we have? Did I cover everything so far? Talk about the debate, the dumpster fire that was the debate. Jeffrey Weinstein, not Jeffrey Weinstein. I'm getting Epstein and Weinstein confused. What's the guy's name? Weinstein. What is his name? Harvey Weinstein. That's his name. Harvey Weinstein getting found guilty, getting locked up. Don't know what the sentence is going to be yet. I think that'll be coming up pretty soon here, as far as if he's going to get 5 up to 25 or somewhere in between. We don't know that yet, but that'll be coming pretty soon. Bernie Sanders being a stone cold stomp down communist and doubling down on that in a debate in South Carolina, and also ABC News being exposed, and a whole lot more topics. But let's go ahead and Harry says, can I buy an ABL AR-15? Not yet. I think that would be hot though. I know, and the funny part is that I know some guys that actually do custom weapons. Seriously, like they do, but they don't make weapons custom, but they modify weapons with artwork and stuff like that. I do know guys that do that, seriously, that are not too far from here. I may tell them, hey, I got some guys that want, some customized things. Sends you a customized upper or something like that. Who knows? Or a customized magazine. That's actually a very good idea, because I can do that. I really can do that, seriously. Thank you to Edward Mason for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Everystein. Stop it. All right. Let's get to the calls, you guys. I thank you all for joining. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always going to be right here in the ticker at a particular point in time. When it goes to the next slide or the next one or the next one, it'll also always be in the description box below. 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get it rocking and rolling. Let's see if Skype wants to work properly for me. I doubt it, but we're just going to go ahead and see. A Sir magazine. That could happen. That most certainly could happen for sure. Don't put it past me to get something like that off, because I definitely could do that. Yep. Shout out to my guys that do the custom stuff. If I can find their Instagram, I'll show you guys some of the stuff that they do, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and you kind of would get the gist of where I'm trying to go with it. All right. Let me see, make sure my sound is right. And sorry for this. I'm gonna fix it in a moment. Don't even worry about it. It's just weird. Okay, speakers. And check. Okay, cool. And let's turn off my camera, turn it back on, fixed. There we go. All right, we're ready to roll. All right, Matt, what's happening? Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
I think you guys are underrating Bernie Sanders.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I agree with what you're saying about the Democrats are not going to support him, and they're absolutely going to stage a coup against the guy. But Super Tuesday, I think, will be really telling. I bet he'll win maybe 12 out of the 14 races on Super Tuesday. He's polling incredibly well, like even in the elections, but amongst the caucus goers, I mean, he's sweeping it. It's a landslide for him. And I think Trump, when it came to Hillary Clinton, he sort of had like a double-pronged approach with her, and the big win for him was that Bill Clinton was really just so corrupt, and Hillary Clinton was corrupt and trotting out the rape victims and stuff like that on stage. And I do know that the polling data was obviously skewed against them, and the poll takers and everything was skewed against them. But if you looked at, like, towards the end, like the last two debates, like the polls were really locking up, and Trump was even winning in some of the polls. So the polls aren't completely wrong. They might be wrong, like in the same way a tornado prediction report is wrong. But and if you look at polls for Bernie Sanders versus Trump, pretty much all of them have Bernie winning against Trump.
Well, I mean, I think that was the same story last time in 2016. You know, everybody said Hillary's going to win. There's no way Trump's going to win. It's impossible. But we see what happened. He won. Now you have a stronger candidate, a stronger person running, the incumbent, who almost never lose. The economy's doing very well. He's doing very well. People have a very high approval rating of him. It's improved from when he first came into office. And Bernie Sanders is divisive. The thing about him is that a lot of the older people are not going to want to vote for him. Like I might have said it before on the show. My aunt is 80 years old, and my dad asked her last time, "Hey, are you going to vote for Bernie or Hillary?" She was like, "I'm voting for Hillary. I'm not voting for that fool Bernie." And this is a stomp down Democrat, and she's in politics too. So this ain't just anybody. Like a lot of the older folks, they're going to vote more for the moderate type person, Joe Biden. But Bernie, he's too divisive. He has a strong support right now in the primary, because in the primary you got to be more further to the left or further to the right. But once it comes time for the general election, you got to be more centrist, and it's hard for a guy like Bernie to do that. You can't go from commie to centrist. That's not really how that will work for him.
Well, I like I said, I agree that I don't think he'll get the Democrat vote, but I think he'll get the independents. And the way that I think that it could happen, and again, if I were to bet, Trump is going to win. But I'm just saying these are the three things that I think for Bernie to win or would have to happen. Number one, he'd have to win the primaries. I think he's going to do that hands down. Number two, the economy would have to go bare. And I know what you're saying, that how you feel the economy is good, but I think if you look at our deficits, they're going through the roof. That's something that usually happens during a recession. You look at our interest rates, they're going down through the floor. That's something that usually happens in a recession. You look at the manufacturing component of a GDP, that's going down. I mean, the manufacturing jobs, Trump's actually lost manufacturing jobs. And I think that, like in terms of us competing with other countries, we need exports. We have a service-based economy. We can't just give services to each other and say, hey, we got a great economy. I think real estate, you look at quantitative easing, that's going up. That's something that is supposed to happen in a recession, and it's happening now. So I totally understand what you mean by the jobs numbers and the nominal, the headline figures, like UE and stuff like that. But honestly, I think market fundamentals. Again, I was a Ron Paul delegate twice. This is something that he preached on. It's something I learned the book on this, and I feel as though the fundamentals are absolutely disastrous. And if there's any bear market, which, I mean, since we've last talked, the Dow plunged 1,000 points. We're all the way back to July in terms of the Wilshire 5000.
But why did that happen? But why did that happen though?
What's that?
But why did the Dow plunge?
Well, I don't think it matters why.
I'm asking you. Is this a question?
Well, what ends up happening with the market is you never really know why. This is like something Adam Schiff talks about quite a bit.
So do you know why?
Well, I think it's because the fundamentals are wrong. But why did it plunge now? I think it's probably coronavirus.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just checking.
Yeah. So I mean, it takes something to prick it. You know what I mean? Like there's some built up energy in there, and they're looking for a market correction of some kind. It takes something to prick that. So I think it got pricked a little bit. I think you're going to see the Fed again, maybe lowering interest rates lower than 1.25%. And I think you're going to see some puts, like in terms of, hey, we promised to buy, the Federal Reserve is gonna buy up tractor loans or something like that. Who knows what sort of assets you're going to get into, but there's going to be some announcements from Powell and those types of people. But yeah, the market fundamentals are busted, and we're behaving right now like we're in a recession. So that's the second leg, and so Bernie Sanders could win if there's a recession, because independents are going to say, hey, if capitalism failed, Trump is a capitalist, and I'm losing my home. I want my.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that the average voter is going to think that deeply when it comes to voting?
Nope. I think it's going to be completely gut, and they're just going to. The biggest component is independence. Again, I've run 2 caucuses. I've participated as delegates. As a delegate, I was chairman of the Republican Party in Washington State. I'm just telling you, just from the way, when I canvass doorbells and do those sort of things, I'm just telling you, the average voter is. I went down to Portland, and a friend of mine told me that electric cars are going to take over in 10 years. And I'm like, what makes you say that? And he's like, I'm seeing them everywhere. Like, we're in the heart of Portland. And I'm like, and I pulled up the stat. It's 1.6% of all car sales last year were electric vehicles. How are they going to take over? People are buying gasoline vehicles more. I'm saying people's perception and just sort of what they feel is right or wrong is sometimes not nuanced enough to know. But I think he's going to win the primary. I think the economy could turn, and if that happens, Bernie might not even need the Democratic votes. He'll go right to the independents. And Trump's style of debate, in terms of, I love that he took Hillary to the woods.
All right. I'm going to cut you off, but I got time limited. I got a lot of calls coming in.
But it ain't gonna work on Bernie, and I think he's too mature, and Trump's is gonna come off like someone juvenile if they debate.
You think Bernie's gonna be more mature than Trump? Every time I see Bernie, he's screaming and hollering. You think that's more mature?
I think he's like
talking about how good Castro is. Yes, he did it. He did right. He increased the rating. That's mature.
But you look at the people, that's what they're after. I agree with that. But I'm just saying that, the rape issue, or I don't think Bernie's going to even care that the locker room talk, which I pointed out to you, that Trump never said he could grab women. He never once said that. Right. He was being facetious. I'm going to let you go. I would just ask you and your viewers, maybe take a look at some of the economic data a little bit.
All righty, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Good. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you, my man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Bernie gonna be up there screaming and hollering. Bernie. We got to take the means of production today. We have to. That's not. I don't want to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that for 4 years, 8 years, nothing like that. I don't want to hear it at all. Let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And thank you all for joining. All righty, let's go to 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi. This is the Red Pill Barista from San Francisco.
All righty, man. What's going on?
How are you doing today, Mr. Logan?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
You did a great job yesterday. My wife and I watched the debates with you, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
First, you're welcome, sir. First, I want to say, Mayor London, I wish her parents didn't breed, made an announcement yesterday that she's putting an emergency down in San Francisco for the coronavirus. And then she says it's racist if you don't go to Chinatown and spend your money and act like everything's normal. Is that woman out of her tree? I'm going to spend money and walk alongside people who just came from infected areas and eat their bats and rats and ducks? Is she kidding? I'm going to go near Chinatown with a 100-foot pole. Is she out of her mind? Who's going to sit down and say, hey, I'll have that bat soup with you and make sure it's from the infected area? She should have an emergency. She's out of her blood. Secondly, with the debates, I want to just touch on them real briefly. About the debate last night, if you can call it that. First of all, summing up on some of the candidates. Buttigieg, let me tell you about that guy. Stop apologizing for being gay already. We know you are. You don't have to bring Jesus, Moses, and Mahatma Gandhi into it. Yes, you're the only man on that stage who's put his tongue up another guy's nostril. We get it, Buttigieg. We get it. You're gay. It doesn't qualify you as president. Move on. Even your brother-in-law hates you. Sheesh. About Pocahontas. Did you catch that lie that she perpetuated yesterday about her pregnancy again? It's been proven. There's a letter out there stating that they were going to accept it back, and yet she perpetuates the lie again. Is that woman psychotic? I don't get it. And then she brings up the abortion thing with Bloomberg. Let me tell you something. I think that woman doesn't know when she's lying. She is sick. And about Bloomberg now, let me tell you about him for a second. Bloomberg is a punching bag. He's saying, I'm sorry, stop and frisk. I'm sorry I did it. No, you're not, Bloomberg. You got off on stop and frisk. You got to be kidding. You loved it. Stop apologizing for being the mayor. And also, he talks about black leaders. I went to the black leaders. What the hell is a black leader? If you think about it, Martians land from Mars, and they go into the African-American neighborhoods, and they say, take me to your leader. Who is the average African-American going to take them to? Jesse Tawana Brawley Jerkson or Al Sharptongue? Is that the leaders? I mean, Bloomberg, come on. The only black men you see in your neighborhoods are the ones that are going to their jobs as servants. You got to be kidding. You're a jerk. Finally, about Biden, well, forget about it. Biden's finished. He's senile. He's gone. Now, Bernie, I want to touch on something, Mr. Logan. I don't know if you caught it. It was real quick. He wants to... The entrepreneurship he wants to bring into minority neighborhoods is to sell low-cost weed. Did you hear him say that?
I did.
Let me tell you something. Wow, he's doing them a favor. 70% single mothers, gang violence, high unemployment, and what do we do for them? Get them high so they can sit and smoke weed all day. Is that the only thing that he thinks that African Americans can do is smoke weed? And that's not racist? I'll tell you something, Seltzer man. Not only are you a Castro-loving man, but you're also a racist. Come on, you can't think of businesses like hairdressing, banks, stores, private schools, sell them low-cost weed? You are out of your mind there, Seltzer man, out of your mind. Finally, and this is a point I want to bring up if I may be permitted for a moment. Where are the men and women out there? Where are you? I mean, the PC culture, you are giving them your children, transgenderism, you're allowing them to go to school and be indoctrinated. Next, you grovel like slaves at your job for PC. You can't say words anymore. You can't give ideas anymore. You grovel like men in the dirt. Now, when they say, if you don't drink lime juice off an immigrant who has coronavirus, you are racist. Well, I'll tell you something. Who gives a crap what name they call you? Yeah, so what? You're racist. You're going to give your life up now to be PC? You're going to die for it? Who cares? Come on, guys out there. Grow a pair. Defend your women. Defend your children. Stop groveling in the dirt for some HR buffoon or some politician who's making a monkey out of you just to get a few bucks. Grow a pair. I'm not going to bother with people who have coronavirus, and I'm not going to bother with them and to eat at their restaurants and go, look at me. I'm a virtuous male. I'm a virtuous male. You are a jerk if you do that. Grow a pair. Where are the cowboys out there? I don't get it. Mr. Logan, once again, you did a good job yesterday. They tried cutting the feed on you, I saw. And you know something? You should have let them cut the feed because your comments were 100 times better than those jerks on the stage. I want to wish you good night and have a great week.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to my man Red Pill Barista. Always a great call, always on point and entertaining at the same time. Yeah, one of my favorites. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220, and the phone lines are wide open. Let's go ahead and get on into it. 832, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to? Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Oh man, just sitting there checking out the show. Just got to listen to the other guy from what was it, like New Jersey or whatever. Hey, ABL, I just wanted to kind of give you some real information that I got. Like, say for instance, with the coronavirus, right? Me and my girl, we ordered a part. The part came from China. It was the wrong part, right? They actually have the ability to, to return it. They tell us you can print the receipt out, return ticket rather, and send it back, and they'll actually refund the money on your card. So when we did that, we contacted them to return it. Hey man, they said they didn't want the part, dispose of it.
Wow.
Yeah, and they'll put the money back on the card, which they did. Now, I'm in Houston, Texas, so I spoke with you before. So now I'm just, I thought about a couple of scenarios here. Maybe there was a big part warehouse somewhere in Houston, right? That parts would come in and be, retailed out to wherever, But, from what I could tell, there was like nothing going in, right? So I thought about how many other people were affected like that, and how is that going to affect their economy? Because that part was pretty expensive. You know what I mean? You're talking $50, $60 a part,
Oh yeah, definitely. See, to me, that seems like, that could have been when the coronavirus was going on. They could have sent that out, and then they realized that, so it was like, no, we don't want that. You keep that. So there could be, like you said, it could be a lot of other people that are out there with the very same thing. And I was wondering that because, like I was saying earlier, I saw on ABC News tonight. I don't know where it was, but it appeared to be China, and they had a conveyor belt with boxes on it, taped up, ready to ship out. And then they were spraying the boxes with some kind of solution or bleach or something. I'm like, okay. So obviously the shipping process is going to be compromised. And I don't know how it spreads. If you get a part and you touch it, can you contract it that way? Does it die? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, definitely. But now, I seem to be getting all of these little nuances happening to me. Not too long ago, maybe 6 months ago or so, my girl, we buried her dad in Mississippi, and just coming outside of Jackson, Mississippi, one of the things I noticed was there was a lot of construction going on, a lot of construction. Big type of facilities, right? So I thought, okay, depending upon what they were going to be, doing in the facilities, it was opportunity for growth, right? That's what I was thinking, right? And the industry I work in, right, if you think about it, just about every major metropolitan city in the United States is doing some type of construction, whether it's on the roads, like here in Texas, I think we had at one time 2,800 bridges across the state that failed inspection. So we're talking corroded bridges, although there is, in some cases, there's wood bridges, whether you believe it or not, there's some actual up-to-date wood bridges in this state. You know what I mean? When I went across them, it amazed me because I'm from Chicago. So, seeing some of those things was just like, something different for me. But, what else I wanted to talk to you about? It's really, to be honest, I'm a Q follower too a little bit, and I try to play the game. But really, man, as I pay attention to you guys, some of the guys that I like listening to, and my buddy has his YouTube page. He has a striving YouTube page called Being Willie. He's local here in Houston. What I notice is they cannot let guys like you get a foothold, because if they do, It's trouble. It's trouble. You know what I'm saying? So my buddy, they already suppressed his numbers. I'm sure they suppress your numbers. Oh, here's what I wanted to tell you about. Watch this here. Oh man, dude, watch this. So you know the whole thing about the corona is being said that the 5G is having something to do with. Have you heard that?
I've not heard that.
Yes, look into that. It was a guy that came on Red Pill 78 show, and he spoke about it. So the 5G towers that they're putting up, has something to do with it, right? And just here in my neighborhood, there's a big old tower here that they were just over the weekend updating it. I went and asked the guys what were they doing, and they was like, yeah, we're putting 5G in, right? Now, in Austin, Texas, which is the capital of Texas, right? Google has a tower on top of the Department of Transportation building, the DOT. I saw it with my own eyes. I've been up there, right? So these towers, man, is from what they're saying, because it's going to take a lot of them to, I guess, broadcast the signal. These towers are going to do some things. So definitely look into that. Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to listen to me. I love being able to talk to you, especially when I'm checking you out. And I'll get off and just let somebody else give you a call.
And thank you for the call, man.
And also,
go ahead.
Great job, man. I watched a debate with you as well yesterday. It was it was real fun, man. So, good job, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate it. Hey, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the debate. Yeah, the debates are a lot of fun. Especially the past couple, they've been a lot of fun, and it's better having an audience and a crowd and people to talk to, a community to talk to. It was really a lot of fun. So shout out to y'all who were in the stream last night. I'm sorry it was not able to stay on YouTube, but I'm glad you were able to be there if you were. But let me get to the next call. Let's go 607, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, good evening, ABL. It's Chuck from North Carolina.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Everything's well. How about yourself?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
The thing I wish I'd speak with you about, your early caller, Red Pill Barista, kind of commented on earlier, and I was going to accent it a little bit more, about that debate, especially with Bloomberg. And this right here proves the fact that Bloomberg is really not witty. When he was talking about when Elizabeth Warren was lying about like her being pregnant, losing her job, this, that, and the other, from what I remember, technically, she was right. She did lose her job, and there was no union to protect her job. But then again, if he was witty, he would have realized the fact that, well, no union is going to protect your job when you quit.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, that's what I was saying. It's like, why is she repeating this lie over and over? Because she resigned. I mean, that is a fact. I don't understand what the problem is here.
Yeah. And, like, furthermore, I think there was, like, 2 other one-liner zingers I believe he had. Even I kind of laughed at them. And you could definitely tell 100% they were rehearsed, most likely bought and paid for by whoever staff is.
Yes.
Because I noticed, like, when he was saying them, that he was actually looking down and was like, oh, yeah, like, I don't know why y'all come back here, how I, beat y'all up last time. Of course,
yeah, that was kind of funny. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, you're probably right. That could have been something that was, written for him to say on the stage.
Mm-hmm. And, like, the third thing that shows the fact he's not witty, I think you kind of brought this up earlier, kind of made me thinking about it. Well, how I think it was Buttigieg, maybe some of the others, I didn't catch the very beginning of it, where they were constantly trouncing on about, stop and frisk and this, that, and the other, especially stop and frisk, because I think Buttigieg actually hit him with it.
Right.
In my personal opinion, if he was witty, he would say, all right, let me ask you this question. At what point in time is sorry? What time you going to actually let me live this down, let it go, and forgive? And if he was even further witty, I would actually put in the statement as like, if God can forgive, why can't you?
Ah, yeah. Play that card. Yeah, that could work.
I'm a Christian.
That's right.
Now, as for San Francisco, as I said, Red Pill Barista, apologies, coming out like San Francisco declaring itself state of emergency. I could somewhat understand with this, and this is where I come into play with this. Like, mainly what I'm thinking about is like container ships from China. I don't know anything about San Francisco, but I'm assuming because it's on the West Coast, it definitely has a seaport that takes in Chinese chips.
Yeah, I would assume so, for sure.
And, I mean, I'm assuming LA, God knows where else. And here's the thing, and that right there's another thing that kind of concerns me. It's like, what about the actual crew members on the ship? Are they allowed to come on? Are they allowed to come off? I'm assuming Coast Guard's got to come on to the ship, inspecting containers, inspect the loads, whatever the case may be. I'm assuming there's a whole big process there, customs, etc. That right there is the problem. What happens if one of the container ships and one of the members of the crew is infected? How's it going to deal with that?
Right. That's a very good question.
And I understand what you say. You know, and it's really not racist to really say, "Oh, hey, I just flew in from China," to more or less like you pull back. It's not racist, in my personal opinion. I mean, and unfortunately, I will personally believe that. I mean, it's kind of prejudice, I guess you could say. I mean, back when, like, way back in the old days when people had leprosy, I mean, people will shun you out. I mean, like during the AIDS epidemic, back in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean,
people has AIDS, you're like, people back off.
Yeah, it's all about just protecting your life. It's not anything personal, because it's not even about the person. It's about you just trying to protect yourself. That's it. And, you know, because the thing is, we don't know, like, how things are transmitted. With HIV/AIDS, you kind of know what's going on. So just being in the room with somebody, you know that you can't get it just from somebody, you know, just being there. It's not going to be just they speak and then it just hits you through the air. You know, it's got to be blood contact. We know that. But with the coronavirus, people don't know what's going on. They're just spraying stuff in the air. Who knows how it gets really transmitted? Like they're saying, like you know, the common cold or the flu. But now they're saying it's not the flu, it's something else. So it's a lot of unknown. And when you have the unknown, the best thing is just to protect yourself however you can.
All right. The last point, all right, well, I'm about ready to say you're probably going to think I'm some sort of wackaloon nut job. So pardon me with this one. After this coronavirus issue dies down, I think the CDC needs to do another, I don't know how to say this correctly, like real-world cyber test, I guess you could say, or virtual test of how infectious diseases go. I mean, they've done it once before. It was 100% pure accidental. I don't know how much you know about this. Like you remember the game World of Warcraft, right?
Yes.
Back a long time ago, there was a glitch in the game that caused a certain boss in a certain raid fight that will give you like a debuff, a disease. And you're able, unfortunately, there's a glitch. You're able to take the disease, transfer it over to something, and then come out of this area, this zone, whatever you want to call it, and go into the real world. And because that thing you're carrying with you is a pet, hunter pet, any wild gamers know exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And what happened was that pet would then start infecting the city. And it became a massive issue. I mean, everybody was getting infected. I mean, it was a whole big problem. And the CDC actually did a full-blown, like, real in-depth study on this problem. The main reason being is the CDC can't, or WHO can't actually put an infectious disease out in the real world and say, hey, let's see how this works. You can't do that. But in a virtual world, it's able to calculate the one thing that none of their computer models can calculate, but the variable, human beings, our stupidity, or whatever the case may be. I mean, that was something they actually really, really learned, and it really actually helped shape some of the actual research, developments, and actually some of the plans in like trying to contain viruses and diseases and outbreaks. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense, man. But hey, I got a lot of calls on the line, so thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good evening, sir.
All right, same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him, and thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call here. Let's go to 617. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, it's Ivan, man.
All right, Ivan, what's going on?
Wow. I guess you got to put out a show yesterday. Few things. Bernie Sanders. I'm not supporting Bernie Sanders. I'm not supporting him. But why this? You in some sort of plug with Chris Matthews from MSNBC? You guys working together? You, Will Johnson, Chris Matthews, Kevin Scorner. You guys are working together?
Who, me?
Yeah, you guys are working together.
How you figure?
Because why are you trying to assassinate the man's character?
Whose character are you talking about?
Bernie Sanders.
Okay, what did I say that was incorrect?
Well, first of all, let's just start with this. Let's just start with what is a totalitarian regime?
What is it, like? What do you mean, like China, where it's like?
What is it? What? Give me a description as a totalitarian regime. Just tell me what is a totalitarian regime.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up so I can give you the dictionary definition.
Okay.
Okay, totalitarianism, just looking at it right here, straight from Google, is a political system or form of government that prohibits opposition parties, restricts individual opposition to the state and its claims, and exercises an extremely high degree of control over public and private life. It is regarded as the most extreme and complete form of authoritarianism.
Okay. Do Bernie Sanders agree or being a totalitarianism? Did he say anything that it was totalitarian at any time?
Okay, so you're saying did he agree with anything that was totalitarian or with the complete system of?
He doesn't agree with anything that is totalitarian.
I mean, he agrees with some of their ideology.
Just one thing from Cuba. It was the educational system.
Okay, so he's not in favor of single payer health care.
He's not in favor of anything else.
No. So single payer health care. I mean, that's part of what I just read right there. Extremely high degree of control over public and private life. Wouldn't that be single payer health care?
Yeah, so that means Canada, our neighbor, the totalitarian government.
I didn't say they were. I just said that's a form. Wait, no, sir. I did not say they were. I was just saying that's part of what I just read. That's a fact. True or false?
Yeah, but it's not in favor of totalitarian control regime. Actually, you're wrong. Let me explain you why you're wrong.
I'm wrong for just reading what I just read it right there. I just read it.
Yeah, but let me. Can I explain to you so you learn something today? You haven't learned anything?
Well, give me your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. It's the reality.
All right, we'll see. Go ahead.
What it means that the totalitarian regime, that means that the one person will decide what law will be. That's not what is going to happen with him. Even if you try to pass the hello, you there?
I'm listening. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay. Even if you try to pass healthcare for all, let's say you want to put a bill in the Senate floor, we have a system. We have the legislative branch. They have to vote on that bill, so it won't be his decision. A totalitarian government's decision of one person. So even that you're saying is wrong. So that's his idea. He say, hey, I think that this will help the people. Submit the bill to the floor, to the Senate floor, or it's going to happen. The House of Representatives probably they're going to vote no on this bill. The Senate is going to vote no on this bill.
So the things he's wanting to actually do, he's not able to do.
So that's why we believe in democracy.
Sir, the question was, sir, listen to me, sir. The question was the things that he wants to do, he would not be able to do. Is that what you're saying?
He won't be able to do. So he believes in democracy.
But he wants to do it then. So we agree.
He believe in so it is the same thing.
If you think that he wants to do it, then I think that as well. So I don't understand where's the disagreement.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion, though. Now you're giving me an opinion.
But you agree with it, right?
No. A fact is that he believes in a democracy.
Do you agree with what I said?
We have a democracy. We have three separated powers. We got the legislative branch, judicial branch, and the executive branch. He believes on that. In order for the National Healthcare Bill to pass, the legislative branch has to agree, and he has to sign it. So that means he knows only his decision is the decision of other people, even the opposition party. So what he said that he condemned is just what you just read, but you're too dumb because you don't read to know.
Oh, I'm dumb?
You are, because, look.
Why am I dumb?
That's what I told you to read it, so you read it, right? One particular political party will make the decision. One person. That's what is a regime.
Okay, I have a question. There have been other governments that have instituted reading programs. Why would he pick Cuba out of all countries in the world? Why Cuba? I don't understand.
Because it is one of the best. I don't know now, But I remember when I was in Panama in the 80s, all the way to the 60s, it was a contest they used to call the Marquia Market Contest. It was a debate contest. It was a speech contest, and Cuba always win. It was a writing contest, and Cuba never loses.
But who were their contestants? Who were their contestants? What countries were their contestants?
From the United States, from Canada, the United States, was all the way to Argentina, all those countries, and then became worldwide. I don't know about, like I said, this was a long time ago. I don't know what happened in the last 20, 25 years. So I'm just telling you. And a lot of countries went to Cuba to see, hey, why you guys are doing that? You guys are the number one in the world.
So is that the case nowadays? Is that still the case?
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. All right.
No, but you see.
So why did he mention Cuba? If it ain't the case no more, why mention Cuba? There are other. Sir, wait a minute, sir. I'm not finished answering the question, sir. I'm not finished answering the question. I'm not asking the question. If that might not be the case anymore, why not mention a different, sir? I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. You can't respond to a question that I've not asked you yet, sir. If that ain't the case no more, why not mention a different country? I mean, Cuba, why would you go to a communist country? And then he mentioned China, talking about how they lifted folks out of poverty. Why would you mention China? Why would you mention these communist places? How about mentioning quote unquote democracies? They like to talk about. Why mention communist places? I don't understand. Is it because it's communist?
So that means if other country mention the problem of America, that means America is bad?
What?
If other country mention, if Cuba mentioned the problem that America has, that means it's bad. The crime rate, the problem with the rape, the problem with discrimination, all the problem that America has. If other country condemn them, that means American is bad.
Nah, you're missing the point. I'm not talking about.
I'm not missing the point.
Sir. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Now I'm going to answer. You're on mute. Now, the issue with Cuba is not just the flaws. All countries are flawed. There is not a perfect country. All countries have the issues with crime and drugs and healthcare and everything else. Even these white utopias that bring like talk about all the time, like Norway and Sweden and places like that, they had their problems as well, like the rapes in Sweden, but that's a different story. Anyway, we're not talking about just flaws. We're talking about the system, the government that is a problem. Communism is a problem. All around the world, it's always been a problem. That's the point, not other things. Now, you're on now. You need the whole time, though.
He just said he condemned. You didn't say what he said at the beginning. I condemn all totalitarian regime. He said Russia.
Okay, so why not just,
China,
why mention communist regimes then?
He said Cuba. And
Sir,
huh?
Why would he continue to mention the communist regimes and then have to condemn them? Why, sir, I'm not done with the question. Why not just not mention them so there's no need to condemn him? I don't understand his thought pattern.
Excuse me? There's two things here. Either you plan too dumb to get subscribers into your channel, or you dumb. I don't know which one is it.
You're mad.
Which one is the second largest economy right now? Tell me.
Like, wait, between what?
Which one is the second worldwide largest economy right now on this earth?
You talking about China?
There we go.
And what's your point?
So that means there's something good about it, right?
I mean, there's always good about everything. But okay, how about this? What about Germany?
Right,
Sir. What about Germany? Because let's not forget, during Weimar Republic, Germany was doing very bad. A lot of poverty, rampant poverty was all over the country. But then entered the Third Reich, Adolf Hitler. After Hitler was in office, things were much better all over the country to the point where they are right now today, which is a first world power in the world. But would you say that it was good that Hitler came in, that Hitler did good things? Why would you do that? There's no point in doing that. Talk about people that were not murderous and stuff like that. Talk about people that were actually good and had good results from being good, not good results from being bad. If I rob you and kill you, I can get money if you got it. That don't mean that it's good that I got money. What did I do to actually get the money? Let's just think with your brain here, sir. Don't be a moron all your life.
That I'm on now?
Go ahead, go for it.
Okay, I'm on. So he condemned the totalitarian regime. So he doesn't support what you just read it, right? You just read it. You got it. He doesn't support. in the content, there's good things out of it. China. Is China? You know who's the biggest threat to the United States right now?
Pope, like, okay.
You know who's the biggest
Listen. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get to my next call. You've been on too long. China is doing well economically on paper. That's 100% correct. But how did it get there? You're talking about the Great Leap Forward. How many Chinese had to die? 100 million Chinese dead. Why would you talk about China? Talk about a country that achieved good from good, not achieved good through bad. Like I said, I can be a prolific drug dealer, robber, murderer, whatever. If I get rich from doing that, doesn't mean that I should be praised because of the positive outcome of my negative actions. It doesn't make any sense. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And Ivan has left the building. Shout out to my man Ivan. I like being able to have the combats, the sparring. It's fun. I enjoy it. But thank you all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. You guys have been great tonight. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do you guys think that it's worth killing 100 million Chinese people to have a good economy? If that's the case, then, hey, okay, that's fine. Bernie could talk about it. But if not, let's talk about a country that did good through good, and that is doing well. If they achieved good through bad and they're doing well now, that's different. But don't talk about a country that achieved good through bad and is still doing bad. They got the concentration camps, basically. Try being a Muslim or Christian or something else up there, Falun Gong, good luck. I don't understand. Why do we got to praise communism? How about talking about countries that don't have communism, that have freedom for the people, that don't, get welded shut into their homes because somebody says they might be sick? But I'll move right along to the next call, and let's get to, hold on here. Let me see. 712, you the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, hello. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Al, ABL. Just going to try to lighten things up with, basically, you just had Ivan on the phone, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, anyhow, first of all, there's another great democracy. It's called India. Trump was just there. Had over 100,000 people at the cricket stadium. Right?
That's right. Absolutely.
That's absolutely. So, here's one I have for... our new national anthem if Bernie gets elected.
Yeah, that'll be it. And everybody's got to come outside at the same time and recite it.
Yep, exactly. So, let's start out with that one. Bernie. He is a communist. No ifs and buts about it.
That's right. Absolutely.
He's a socialist. He is basically, like you said, and you were right, is that totalitarianism is basically, I am going to do this. I'm going to take the money from the rich. I'm going to give it to the poor. So I'm going to have my pockets in there. I'm going to also make you all have a single-payer health care. You're right. That's basically almost like a dictatorship. So, but on the debate, did you catch Bloomberg saying something about he bought or paid for the Democrats in 2018 of winning the House and giving it to Nancy Pelosi? Did you happen to really catch that?
He checked himself, but he was going to say, I bought them. Oh, I spent $100,000 getting, or $100 million getting these people into offices, that and the third. And then he said, I got it. It's like, oh, I caught that bought part. You were going to say bought. Then you said, got. I did catch that for sure.
Yeah, that was one. And then also, another thing I thought was kind of too bad we didn't have a real, with like Fox or something like there to narrate this, because there's something that Elizabeth Warren said too. My wife brought it up to me. It was like, she said to Bloomberg was basically, when he has said that this woman was pregnant to kill it. And she brought that up, killing it, and yet it's not, that baby was not, I'm going to call it a baby, okay? That baby was not born, and with her saying that, is that meaning that she supports, or we know that she supports abortion, but does that mean also that she doesn't support abortion because she brought it up?
I mean, I was kind of confused right there because I'm like, okay, why would you bring that up? Because last I checked, it was a clump of cells, right? It must not be a clump of cells now when it fits your particular narrative. But when you're talking to Planned Parenthood and whatnot, it could be an 8 months gestation baby. You'll say it's a clump of cells, so it's born. I see how that works. It's all about just trying to play the game. You're trying to appeal to certain little heartstrings, but you don't do that all the time. I did catch that.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought that was kind of a, what a great commercial to have on that one, with Planned Parenthood. And then the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on was these new not driver's license, but ID license.
Yeah, the real ID, yeah.
The real ID. I mean, it's supposed to go in effect like October 1st, 2020, this year. And some of my thoughts is, okay, we have to have the real ID to go on an airplane, yet why can't we have the real ID to go into the voting booth?
Good point. I mean, that's my whole thing. You got to have ID for everyday life. I mean, go to the gas station and try to get a pack of cigarettes. If you look too young, you're going to get carded for that. You try to get some beer from the grocery store or whatever. You go on the food line trying to get your little drink for the night. They're going to card you for that. So I can vote. I can select the president. The guy's going to be the leader of the free world without an ID. I think the reason why they have it like that is because they want to engage in voter fraud. I mean, those on the left. Because if they're looking at the polls, they're looking at some data and it doesn't look good for them, they may just want to rig the election. That's my viewpoint on it.
And I agree. I mean, here in Iowa, we have to show our driver's license to vote. But I do I'm gonna totally say, and I agree with this real ID. You know what? But we need to apply it into our voting booth too, because it's for U.S. citizens only, and so where you can fly from A to B, or even overseas. So to me, all right, I'll comply with this, but I believe that we need to have it in our in our voting too. So don't give me this from the what's that law firm group? It's out of Chicago. Of basically that we have, they can't, what I'm saying, that basically, train of thought's kind of going like Joe Biden's, that we're too ignorant to go to the DMV and basically get an ID. That's bull crap.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying there. So we're not smart enough to do that. And yet you're right. You go buy beer or anything else, you have to have an ID. Even if I buy cigarettes, I have to have an ID. I have to give them my date of birth. So, anyhow, that was some of the things I wanted to say. And Bernie, I don't believe in that one guy's oppression. I think, number one, Bernie's already lost Florida because he's saying Castro was such a great man. He was not, because there's a lot of Cubans down in South Florida that basically saying, no. In fact, they've got the Democrats kind of scared down there because they filed a suit. Just today, I think, I heard that they want to eliminate Bernie because he's an independent, not a Democrat. So, anyhow, that's all I got to say. Get that off my chest. I just want to give that music out to to our new country's anthem. So, if Bernie gets elected, that is.
That's right, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You bet. Hopefully I got a smile out of you off that one.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, you have a good one. Thanks, Anthony.
All right, now, take care. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys on the drill, the number to call is 434-658-1220. MJ says, is the rumor true? Are you corn pop? I am him. He is I and I am him. Biden kept talking trash about me, so I decided to come out, make a YouTube channel, and try to defeat him through what I'm saying on the airwaves. I am corn pop. He did not have any kind of chain and beat me with it. That didn't happen. This ain't slavery or nothing like that. He got them paws all up in here. That's why he's not really right now, but that's a different story. Anyway, thank y'all for joining. We're getting to the calls in just a moment. Let me see. And shout out to my man, Will Johnson, for having me on the show today. I appreciate him for that. Some of you guys may have come from there. That was fun doing that, for sure. And let me get to the super chats right quick, and then we're going to keep on rocking. Shout out to, hold on, Nicolette Ellis for your donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to Brazilian American patriotic soldier who says 1950s before Castro, Ivan Quetopica. And I can't, that's the Hispanic laughing. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to my man Killer Sushi 99 who says Bernie wants government control over energy production, education, and healthcare. He wants to step away from being a straight up dictator. No American president ever has demanded such power. Exactly. I mean, that's what I was saying to Ivan. It's like you want to have single payer and you want to have education from K through college, K through whenever. Too much government control, energy, all of that, healthcare, way too much. Thank you for that, man. I definitely appreciate you. But let me get to the next call. And let me see. Let's go. 239, you're line. I'm speaker to. Hello. Everything is great. How about yourself?
Oh man, that debate last night was horrible. I don't know which line I remember that I cringed at more. The Black and Latinos can sell weed, and we'll have them sell weed, or Black reparations.
Oh, those are both some pretty big ones.
Oh my goodness. I had two questions for you. I'm going to make this real quick because I know you got a lot of callers. Question number one is, how come people are not, like the mainstream media, if they want to stop Bernie, how come they're not mainstreaming more of his sexual poems and sexual literature that he had that he wrote? Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that, like the rape fantasy stuff he was writing. It might have been in college.
Yeah, rape. Yeah, he had rape fantasies and all that, and he wrote this one thing about kids should run around naked and touch each other. That way you kill the porn industry. It's really weird, but like, and the thing is, like, his campaign hasn't said anything about it. They haven't touched it, but the Bernie bros, quote unquote, are saying that this is Russia. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is Russia making this shit up, this stuff up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse, but you don't think that's gonna? My question is, you don't think that's gonna crush them, do you? Like, because they're not seeming to make that even more mainstream than it is.
Nah, I think that might come out at a certain point, maybe if the mainstream media allows it, because that's the whole thing that you got to kind of battle is the dissemination of information as far as Bernie Sanders is concerned. If things like that come out, people may try to say, oh, it's the Russians trying to do a smear campaign. It's like, the Russians, this is what you said, sir, but that's what the narrative may be. So people may just try to shy away from it if that's the case. But I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think that it will really hurt them that much. But it could be something that people talk about a little bit, at least.
Yeah, because if the shoe is on the other foot, oh my God! If they found something that Trump put in high school, oh man, it would be everywhere. And now my second question is this: obviously, you called it right. Bloomberg is really falling in the polls right now, and his debate last night didn't help him at all. He continues to fall. But he did say that he would back the Democratic nominee. However, it's been said in the Hill, they were talking about how it's been whispered between his campaign managers that he will not back Bernie Sanders if Bernie Sanders is the nominee. It's a rumor. But then I want to ask you, if that rumor is true, that he will not, because he said he pledged that he would back the nominee. If he wasn't the nominee, he would back them with money. And if he's not going to do Bernie Sanders, who would be the front runner, because he said he would back the front runner, the actual winner. If he's not going to back Bernie Sanders, who do you think he would back? I think Joe Biden.
Yeah, it'd probably be Joe for sure, because he, in the eyes of most people on the left, will have the best chance of being able to succeed. Although he'll still lose, I think he has the best chance. So it'd probably be Joe. That's who they want on the left. They want Joe, even though he's like.
I thought they would want Bloomberg because they're really. Everyone's coming out with nice things to say about Bloomberg. They gave him all these ad space. He's the new Elizabeth Warren.
Well, I mean, he's buying that. That's just something he's purchasing with the ads and all of that. But they want Joe because even though he looked as fragile as he always does during the debate last night, the mainstream media, what did they say? Oh, he looked strong. He sounded convincing. It's like, did you watch the same debate? He appeared to be like ready to go to bed.
Yeah, but I don't think they can steal it with Joe. I don't think they can make that look legitimate. At least with Bloomberg, there's no way to not make it look legitimate. So it's like, okay, we knew this was happening. You know, with Joe, it's just, I don't know. I just a block of wood would do better in a debate than Joe against Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you so much for putting up with some of these leftists that just call you and they want to talk about how great Cuba is. You know, my girlfriend's Cuban. When Bernie said it, she was like, "Oh, wow, someone needs to school him." So, thank you very much for everything, man. Have a good one.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him for the call, and thank you all for joining. If you've not liked the video yet, please do so. That'll help me out tremendously. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that as well. And when you do subscribe, click the bell as well so you get notified when I go live or post a new video. If you ain't clicked the bell yet, go ahead and do it. You might as well. That'll help me out and everybody else as well so you know when I'm going live and YouTube won't. Hopefully they won't try to suppress the bell. People have said the bell has worked pretty well, so I think that it'll be all right. And we got super chats. Shout out to Leo Ox who says, greetings to everyone tonight. Appreciate what you do, ABL. No problem. Thank you for your support. I couldn't do it without you. And shout out to the PayPal and Patreon people as well as the people who have joined the channel through the recurring monthly thing. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Justin Miller who says, my random question of the day, who would you rather have as your designated driver if you were too drunk to drive? The perpetually drunk, high Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden, who doesn't know the steering wheel from the gas pedal? Wow, that was crazy. Man, that's going to be a tough one, man, because Joe Biden don't even know he's in the car, but Nancy Pelosi, she going to have quadruple vision. So either way, I'm fearing for my life. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me get Joe Biden. Because there's a chance he may have a gas, like a flash of coherence, and we'll be fine. But with Nancy, she's going to be 3 sheets to the wind, drunk as a skunk. And it's not really going to be a good look driving in the car with that. So let me get Joe. A sober Joe versus a ripped, drunk, tore out the frame Nancy Pelosi. For sure. Yeah, and I don't even drink no way. I'm a straight edge. I don't drink, smoke, do none of that stuff. I'm high off life. I don't do like me drinking and stuff like that. It just wouldn't. It'd be too much. Trying to do drugs, it'd just be too much going on. I'm already kind of. It just it ain't really gonna work out too well for me. Alrighty, exactly, Nick Taylor. You gonna get out and walk? That's right. Get out and walk because I don't want nothing to do with that. Hey, yeah, Vanessa, Biden talking about vote for the other Biden. Who are you referring to, sir? What other Biden is there? I was confused at that. Talk about, I'm running for Senate. It's 2020, sir. Like, you're in South Carolina, it's 2020. Delaware was a long time ago. We're way away from that. We're a big time distance removed from that particular situation. And you're right about that. Alcoholics, man, have a moment of clarity as well if you want alcohol, for sure. But Nancy Pelosi, I mean, she's always, like, messed up. Yeah. Talking about, being on a plane, drinking and stuff like that. It's crazy. All right, let me restart my Skype. I know it's acting up right now because I felt like I saw a call and it just went away. Let me restart Skype right quick. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Hopefully this wants to work properly so we can go ahead and get things rocking and rolling. Let me see. It's Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is running away from the press. He don't want to get caught by the press. That's where he's running. All right, let's go to 760. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, what's up? What's up? This is Snapzilla Gorilla, man.
All right, man. Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. I want to talk to you about. I heard the one cat talking about 5G and the coronavirus and whatnot, and I actually did a presentation in regards to that. But very interesting. You really should look into it.
Okay,
but
I'll check it out.
I wanted to ask you, man. So we all agree that we love freedom, right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So my question would be this. What is your position on stop and frisk right now?
Well, my thing is, if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. If people that live in the community request it and they say it works, then I'm with them. If they don't want it, then I understand that as well. If it doesn't work, then ain't no point in doing it.
So even if people want it, do you think it's proper and okay to slam people up against the wall for looking a certain way?
Well, I don't know why. I don't know how stop and frisk is implemented or the reason why it's implemented because I'm not in New York. I don't know all of that. So that's not the question I can answer. All I can say is if people in the community want it, then I wouldn't take it away from them unless I had a different way to stop the crime.
Like democracy, right? People in what if there's some people in the neighborhood that don't want stop and frisk, but 51% want it and 50% don't want it. You think it's okay to make the other 50%, or not 51 and 50, 51 and 49? Do you think it's okay to make the 49% go along with it because the 51% want it to happen?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
All right, two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner. I get it.
So I mean, at what point, like let's say, like at what point, like let's say it's 90%. Would that be fine to say if 90% of the community?
Absolutely not.
So you're going to just disregard the wishes of your constituents if you're an elected official? You would just say, well, the hell with y'all. Y'all know what you want.
Well, if
it's a question, yes or no?
Official, no, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If I were an elected official, I would do away with democracy altogether. See, now this is the thing. My thing is, we're looking at two solutions, right? Like you said, I saw the video you did on Bloomberg's stop and frisk situation, when he was being blatantly racist about it. But let's put race aside, because when you start talking about race, things get convoluted and people start going off on the deep end. Let's keep it away from race. Let's keep it to being a human being, okay? No matter what they look like, no matter how they're dressed, okay? So you said there were two options. You said, one, you could be safe with stop and frisk, or you could not have stop and frisk and not be safe.
Well, it depends. It depends on the neighborhood. If the neighborhood says we want stop and frisk to keep us safe, then I'm like, okay, cool. If it does not work, then what's the point in having it? That's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm just all about just trying to keep this neighborhood safe. And if I don't do stop and frisk, I need to have an alternative to be able to keep my neighborhood, my constituents safe. I can't just say, well, I'm not going to do anything to help you guys. I got to do something.
I agree. There is a solution. There's a third solution. There's a third option. You empower the people in that neighborhood so that they can keep themselves safe, right? So in many of these neighborhoods, let's say Chicago, LA, your rights to open carry are taken away. You can't open carry in Chicago or LA. And this is where a lot of the violence happens, right? But if people had their rights to keep and bear arms 100%, you empower those people and they could take care of the riffraff in those neighborhoods. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for instance, so you have states like Georgia where there's an entire community that open carry all day, every day. There's zero crime practically, right? And they are able to keep and bear arms 100%. Their freedoms are there. They don't need the police to come in and slam people against the wall.
You said where? You said where in Georgia?
I forgot the city. So don't take my word for it.
Okay.
I forgot the city. I forgot what city it was. Man.
Not Atlanta, of course.
So no, heck no, not Atlanta. So what I'm saying is, if you empower the people, right? That's the solution. You empower the people so they don't have to wait for the police to do anything, because they don't need the police to come in and violate anybody's rights. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean, if New York City were if New York City were able to have better gun laws, I'd be all for that. Definitely 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you attain true freedom, right? So in the debate, you heard Amy Klobuchar, right, talking about the Republicans and how she's in the middle. She's in the middle of the country, and she has the ear in a lot of Republican districts. You understand what I'm saying? And that's going to be her way to attack these areas. Because if you look at much of the Midwest, you don't have those type of problems, right, with the gun violence and all this other stuff. And if you want to go, mass shootings is what? Less than 1% of all the deaths in the country. You know, they try to make it seem like it's this big epidemic. But that's the problem. You have these people that are going into these states where these issues aren't an issue, and they're trying to make it an issue, instead of looking at the areas where there is super strict gun laws and saying, look, well, obviously gun laws aren't working here. What do we need to change? You know what I'm saying? So instead of pushing things like stop and frisk, we push citizen empowerment. You see what I'm saying? That's what I feel like we need to be. We need to empower the people so that we don't need cops to come in and do the things they're doing to people. And you know that a lot of people hate cops, right? You know what I'm saying? But if the people were empowered and the police weren't needed as much, or if the people in those neighborhoods actually became part of some type of security force for their own neighborhood, like, you know, in some cities or in some small towns, they have private police forces that are paid for by the citizens. Okay, and so
do you think private police better than? So hold on. Do you think private police would be better than state police? And if so, why?
I feel yes, absolutely. You know why? Because there would be competition. There's no competition with state police. There's no competition with city police. The city police and the state police can do whatever they want to you and get away with it because they know that, oh, there's not going to be another private force that can come in and take the job.
So there's no accountability. There's no accountability when you're talking about police.
Of course, there's not.
So when you say they can do whatever they want to you and get away with it, that's not really true. It may happen occasionally, but it's not true as a general statement, because you just said there's accountability. So that statement is false. You may think they can get away with it sometimes, but that could be the same case when you're talking about private as well, because people can get off on things that they probably shouldn't be getting off on. It's like a private citizen would. Guys that should be in jail aren't in jail. They beat cases and stuff like that.
You know, all I said was that the police can get away with it. I didn't say they get away with 100% of everything. I didn't say that. So what I'm saying is it's less likely for them to be held accountable for their actions if there's no competition. If there's no need to these police forces, these city police forces, the public police forces, which are paid for by the citizens, by the way, if there's no competition, if there's no one, if they don't have to be if they don't have to provide great service to the people they're serving, then there is no accountability. There's not enough I'll say that. There's not enough accountability. But if you have competition, if you know, okay, if we don't do the right thing, then the citizens within this city or town can get rid of us, then we need to do the right thing. So, like, for instance, in Detroit, when Detroit went bankrupt, what did the police say? The police chief say? He said, look, a lot of the police are leaving the city, so you need to get your firearms and be ready to defend yourselves. and the police started leaving in droves. And the response time was 2 days at some point. So you know what Detroit did? People in Detroit, they hired a private security firm to help protect their neighborhoods, and it was like one of the best things they ever did. You see what I'm saying? See, when the shoot hits the fan, you know, these police forces, they don't have to stick around. Like when things happen, like when bankruptcies happen.
All right.
So I'm just saying, man, there's not a lot of accountability, and if someone really loved freedom, if someone was really truly for freedom, then they wouldn't want stop and frisk for any reason. I don't care if 99.999% of the people wanted it.
Well, thank you for the call, man.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate
No
you. All right.
All right. Talk to you later. All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Private prisons. I mean, not private prisons. Private police. How you guys feel about that? The thing about private, it's. I guess it would be when we're talking about state police. It's a little bit different. There's more resources. I mean, I don't know. I think I want state rather than, because really, in my eyes, the role of the government is, it should be limited. It should be to protect their citizens, you know, and to provide basic infrastructure and not much more. Not to be all in our life and telling us how we got to get educated. Minimal role. Would you want a private military? I don't know. I'm just asking questions, throwing things out there. But let me get to the next call. 228, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is CB from Mississippi. Look, I wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things the last caller said. He wasn't completely wrong, but I think he was kind of misguided on a couple of issues. I'll give you my background. Current law student, served in the military, was a police officer for over 10 years. And on one hand, you do have you could possibly have stop and frisk, yes, be misused. But police officers don't live in a vacuum. You can even take a race out of it. If I see in an area everybody on the corner wearing blue, or I see everybody on the corner wearing red, I mean, you know, that's and it's known that those two colors that they're wearing war with each other or whatnot. Cops don't live in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? They can, I mean, you can infer like, hey, you know, this is a gang. This is what they do. You know, whatever, be it drugs, human trafficking, whatever they do, because not every gang just specializes in one type of crime. But what we said about the police force needing to be privatized, I was always told as a police officer that we're supposed to be a burden on society. We're not supposed to get an enumeration. We're not supposed to get paid for doing our job. We do a job which is every citizen's it's every citizen's obligation. We just get paid a full-time salary to do what every citizen should be doing. So he's not completely wrong on the fact that in New York, these areas that have these strict gun laws, they can't protect themselves. You have to give society a means to protect themselves and the ability to use it. But on the flip side, you know, everybody complains about private prisons, which I don't agree with. So why would you want a private police force?
Great point.
How would they get paid? You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So how would the police force, I mean, it's fine if you have a security company that, you know, your private police that patrol a neighborhood. They're really there to observe and, you know, and report. But, I mean, what the next complaint would be, oh, man, we got all these private police companies and they're writing all these tickets and we got all this corruption, because you want a police officer to have discretion. You don't want him to have that's kind of what separates our police force from everywhere else in the world, is the fact that we're like the gatekeepers to the Supreme Court and everywhere else, to where it's our discretion, where we don't have to write a ticket. that is when you start like one thing that came out of Ferguson, when you start putting pressure on police officers to write tickets or to have a quota, that's when you start to have corruption. So I don't know what your thoughts are on it, ABL.
You made a lot of good points. I think the main thing would be, how are they going to get paid? Because the police, they get paid from tax money. Private police, how they going to get paid? You talking about these low income areas they got to be patrolling? Where's money going to come from? I don't really see like what you're going to put tax money into private. That doesn't make any sense. That's if you put in tax money into private police forces and they're public because they're getting paid by the public. Like, it don't make no sense. So that's the main thing. And then of course the corruption. Where's the oversight there with the police? You got layers of government that can go in there and oversee what's happening. You got the chiefs, people that come from all over the country, different watchdog organizations, a lot of government organizations. Where are you going to get the infrastructure when you're talking about nationally privatized police force? And then, like you said, people complain about the private prisons. So why would a private police force be okay? I don't understand.
Well, think about this. This is one of my arguments that I make to some of my classmates. With private prisons, look at it like this. So if it's a private prison, it's there to probably make money. We'll assume that. If the government, I never understood how you can have a private entity come in and cut costs on something that's like standards that's been set by the Supreme Court and maybe set by the state. Because let's say it takes, you're supposed to have one correctional officer per 25 prisoners. So when a private entity comes in, they're going to build a prison. Maybe they could build it cheaper. Maybe they could, have more surveillance, this and that. But to meet the standards, you're going to have to cut corners somewhere. And I see, at least, anecdotally in this state, you cut corners through personnel. So instead of having, safely having 25 prisoners observed by one prison guard, you might have 50 or 60 observed by one prison guard. And then on top of it, whereas a state should, not in this state, pay well, you might have a private entity, cut salaries. If they don't, if they're paying well, then you're not saving money on a private prison. You're paying this private company more money to run the same prison. Well, why don't you just pay your state employees that same amount? So it never logically made sense to me.
Right. Yeah, I see that viewpoint 100%.
Yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, he wasn't completely wrong about everything, but I think he was just misguided on some areas.
Got you.
You have a good day.
Thank you for the call, man. All right, great call. Great information. I'm loving information, all sides, all points of view. Very good information. And thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate y'all. Oh, and if you are just not came in recently, please like the video. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. This show will be available as an audio-only podcast for free on your favorite streaming platform. I think we're on Google Podcasts. We're on Stitcher, not Stitcher yet, Anchor FM, Spotify, and many others. We'll try to get to as soon as we can. And you'll be able to hear it Friday morning for this show. And then for the Saturday show, I'm going to try to have that be Monday morning. Each and every Friday, Monday morning, you'll be able to hear the Wednesday and Saturday show respectively. Audio streaming platform only for that particular thing. And it'll be absolutely free. Just as a way for it to be convenient for you guys. If you are, on the road, you got bandwidth restrictions or whatever the case may be. But let me get to the next call here. And that will be 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, my name is Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. About yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
All righty. So what's going on? What's on your mind?
Well, it's a little bit off from what you've been talking about, but I've actually wanted to ask you if you've seen the website Bernie put out about the tax plan where you input like your annual income and your annual medical expenses, and it tells you how much money you're going to be saving or losing based on his tax plan. Have you seen that?
No. So it's a website that Bernie put out?
Yeah. It's I can get you the link. It's really interesting. And of course, at the bottom of it, it says, well, this isn't exactly science yet, basically. It's bernietax.com is the website.
Okay, interesting. Because it can't be finalized yet because during the debate, he didn't even know how much it was going to cost. So if he didn't,
No, it's definitely not.
right?
I think it's just really to get people motivated because let's be completely transparent here. I don't make $1 million a year, $2 million a year. I barely break 50. So telling me that I'm going to make an extra $1,000 a month because I'm going to pay less taxes, or I don't know, it's like more taxes, but you save on medical, so you end up bringing home more money. I don't know, it's complicated, you know. But then I have like my dad. You know, my dad came from nothing. I'm like third generation Cuban, came to Miami. I'm in Georgia now, but my whole family was raised in Miami. My dad had nothing until I was in my mid-20s, and he started a business and he blew up. And now he makes a good amount of money. The business makes, you know, $12 million a year. He already pays like 37% tax on that. So now you're telling me you want to pay 55, 60% tax on that? I don't think that's right, especially considering that he only in the last 20 years has gotten money. Before that, he was scraping by. So it's just, I think it's all bogus, and it's really upsetting, especially with this website coming out now, because I can see the appeal coming from someone in the lower middle class or even upper lower class like me.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I hear you 100%. And I just put this in here. I went to the website. I'm testing it out, and it had the income of $75,000. So I stuck with that, and then I just did not fill out what the healthcare cost would be. I left it blank. And it says that I would end up losing $2,512. So if I had zero healthcare costs, I would lose $2,500. I mean, that seems like Obamacare to me, where they just want to tax you in general just because. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I voted for Trump in the last presidential election. I don't intend on changing my vote this year, but I know a lot of people who are kind of swing voters, and it paints a pretty picture to say that you're going to make more money, and people who are in the top 2 or 3% are the ones that are going to pay for all your stuff. It paints a pretty picture when people are struggling. But I have 4 major qualms with the Democratic Party in general, especially the people that are running right now. Open borders, not cool with that. And let's not even talk about gun reform because, like, out of my cold dead hands, right? And then, you know, and then like taxing people who make a little money. Okay, the reality is if you tell my dad right now, like, you're going to, regardless of your write-offs, regardless of anything else, how much you pay your employees, you're going to have to pay 52 to 57% tax on your company's income. Guess what? That company is being sold, it's being parted out, and he's no longer going to make that money. Because what's the point of busting your butt and making $2 million, busting your butt, hustling, doing everything you got to do, and then have to pay and end up at the end of the day, you have what, $700,000? That barely covers your business expenses, your payroll, and your overhead. And you're taking home, what, $100,000 for all your hard work? It's just gonna melt. Everything is gonna crumble beneath us because no one's gonna want to work hard to make that money.
Exactly. I think that's what he's banking on is people just saying, okay, I'm gonna just take that increase in my taxes. He wants that to be able to fund all these crazy things, but people just aren't going to do that. And at a certain point, they can't do it. And then you're going to have businesses go out. And I think at that point, you'll have more and more government control. That's called communism. That's what we don't want in this country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually hearing about something I think Elon Musk said about like a national, it was like saying that everyone in the country makes X amount of money regardless because of automation and taxation and this and that. And like, imagine if half of the big companies, half of the biggest, richest people in the United States decide, I'm out, I'm liquidating, I'm done, I'm not going to try to make more money because I'm paying more taxes. The unemployment rate triples, quadruples, more than that even. And now they're talking about, I mean, it's theoretical, of course, but saying, you know, every American is going to make figuratively $250 a week just because the unemployment rate is going to be so high and there's going to be no jobs. So we have to just nationalize an income.
Exactly. You don't want that.
No, I don't understand. And everybody's painting a real pretty picture, talking about all this stuff. My mom was, you know, she has family still in Cuba. And she was telling me, well, you know, the people in Cuba, they don't live bad, and some of them don't live too bad. Now, she's not defending Bernie, anything he said, but she was giving me an example. Her cousins, they don't live bad because they have family here that send them money.
Yeah.
So like, oh, so if we end up like Cuba, then we're just banking on someone in our family moving out of the country and sending us money. Like, that's what it's come to. My boyfriend has family in Venezuela. That's where he's originally from. And he just sent a good friend of his $40 because the guy couldn't afford to feed his 2 kids and his wife, you know, and his uncle was killed just the other day. Like, you know, and this is what people want. I'm just perplexed, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm right there with you.
So I just wanted to ask you about that website. I'm really glad I got to talk to you.
Well, thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. I had no idea that website existed. That website is crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's just tax. And then the more you make, the more you tax. The more you get taxed. It's crazy. And this is not even accurate. Like she said, it's not going to be accurate because he don't even know how much it's going to cost. So if the guy that's proposing the thing does not even know what it's going to actually cost, then how can anything that tells you how much it's going to cost, how can anything that tells you how much it's going to cost be accurate? It just, you know, that doesn't really add up. But let me get to the next call. 910, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is David from North Carolina again. How you doing, ABL?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Yeah. All people have to understand is whenever the Democrats, they say government, healthcare, whatever, they're talking about your tax dollars. It's not nothing else but your tax dollars. So when Bernie says free this, free that, no, someone has to pay for it.
I got feedback in the background, caller. I got feedback in the background. I still hear the stream.
I got it. You hear me now?
I hear you well.
Okay. But that's the whole thing. When the Democrats say government, health care, government, whatever, they're talking about your tax dollars. So just throw out whenever they say, you know, they're saying your taxes. We're going to raise your taxes to pay for all this. It's just like with Bernie's plan, with whoever's plan, is they're taking your money, your taxes, and you can't pay for it. If you took all the money of Bill Gates and all the other rich people in the world, that's not even like $1 trillion. I don't even know how many trillions of dollars it is. Probably only $30 trillion for all the rich people in our country. And I don't even think there's that much money in the country. So when our tax bill is already $4 trillion a year, and that's at a $1 trillion deficit already, you know, we just can't afford it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. And the other things too. I know the guy called from Mississippi, and I missed what the lady caller said, where she was from. But the big thing is there. I worked in public service for 27 years, and I had health problems and stuff, and they retired me at 52 years old. Yeah, but since I had a stroke, I lost my thing, but I was a paramedic. And let me tell you, when I listened to those calls, when the paramedic call came in, someone told me at a dispatcher's office to go to someone's house or whatever, I didn't know where I was going. I could have been going to a mansion. I did go to a really nice mansion one time, and I always wanted to go inside that house. But guess what? Happened to be during a snowstorm and a blizzard, and the power was out, and I couldn't see 2 feet in front of my face, so I couldn't see nothing in their house except for the person that needed my assistance. And then I would go the next call to a badly impoverished house, and there'd be bugs in the house and stuff like that, and you know, but I never judged those. I was there to help the person, whoever they called me for to assist. It didn't matter if they were black or white or whatever. And I learned that from my, that was the thing. I would want people to be treated the way I would want one of my family members treated. If it was my family member calling for help, that's the way I treated people. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And, now there are cases out there, and they're like probably 1% of all the cases ever about white on black shootings or black on white shootings or whatever. But those are out of, what we got to understand is this is 2020. The media's out there, people's out there with cell phones, everybody's out there, and it's being broadcast. These things have been going on for generations, but you just can't mistrip people and then go to church with them on Sunday or go to a park event for family matters and stuff like that if you're going to cause trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all of us working together, being cohesive. The other thing was, if they try to do away with the Second Amendment, now, man, who's going to enforce that? Are you going to have all the soldiers that are in the military, and they come from all walks of life, are they going to come in and confiscate? If you're in the military and you're in your battalion and you're in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Now, how many guys in Tennessee Army is going to go out there and take their grandfather's gun or their grandmother's gun or whoever's gun? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard sell.
Use the U.S. That's why they don't use the U.S. military on our soil. Now, our president was tripped up because Obama's presidency, he weaponized the IRS, he weaponized our CIA with John Brennan and all them to go against Trump. And it's going to all come out. I think with this Durham guy, I think a lot of that stuff is going to come out. We just got to wait till whenever he comes up with his stuff. I just hope them people get prosecuted, don't you?
Yeah, anybody that is out here doing the wrong thing, you got to go.
Okay. Now, I took up a lot of your time tonight, and I appreciate you letting me speak my piece. And you have a good night, have a good week, and maybe I'll be able to call you on Saturday.
Oh,
have a good night, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Shout out to the caller, and thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. It's right there up under the... Okay, let's go. 813 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, is this ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Matthew. I just wanted to call because I think some of the callers have been talking about taxes tonight. And I think the most important thing to realize is that Americans are paying so much in taxes and they don't even realize it. They're paying sales tax, they're paying excise tax, they're paying property tax, they're paying income tax, they're paying payroll tax. And the big scam of government is the itemization of taxes. And it's taken from underneath us. We don't see it. Everybody focuses on the income tax, but we're paying tons and tons of taxes. And of course, taxes are embedded in everything you buy, and it's sucking us dry. And Bernie wants to take even more. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quite a few taxes. It's way too many. And then when you got guys talking about more and more and more, it's like, I mean, at a certain point, all we're going to do is pay taxes. And where's the income going to fit in there? How can you spend anything on yourself when all you do is pay taxes?
Yeah, everything you do. I mean, if you think about it, everything you do has a tax. And these people get up and say, well, you're only paying 20% taxes. And when you're only paying 30% taxes, you're paying so much more than that. Even if you rent, you don't write a check, property tax, you don't write it to the county. you're still paying tax. I mean, your taxes, your property taxes are embedded in your rent. It's everywhere. You're paying taxes on everything.
That's right.
I mean, even if you buy food, there's no sales tax, but the company that made the food had they have taxes on the corporation. They have to comply with taxes. It took gasoline tax, excise tax to get the food to your local store. Everything has taxes embedded in it, and it's drowning this country. And everybody just needs to realize the scam. It's the itemization of taxes. Everybody's focused on the income tax, but there's so many taxes, and if you add it all up, everybody just has no more income. That's why nobody has any income, because everybody's paying tax.
Right. I mean, like that's kind of like California right now. I mean, taxes are all over the country, and it's a problem. But you go to California. I mean, the cost of living. I was shocked by how much the housing is out there. I'm like, how can anybody afford to live here? It's ridiculous. But you go back to the taxes. When everything is itemized through tax, and everyone has to pay it, all the businesses, all the service providers, all the regular people, that just everything becomes just inflated just because of the taxes. You got to be able to make profit and pay taxes. It gets to be way too much. So I agree with you.
It's a lot. And then on top of it too, because of this reality, then someone like Andrew Yang comes along and promises UBI, and everybody likes that and thinks that's a great idea. If you weren't paying so much in taxes, you'd have some money for some stuff. You'd have some money to buy some stuff. You'd have some security. It's that you're paying so much in taxes. And of course, they cite Alaska. They say, well, Alaska, look at that UBI. Look at the success of that UBI. That's a natural gas and oil royalty. That's not a UBI. People aren't, paying 10% on purchases. They're getting a check. They're eating cake. That's a totally different, situation. And so, I don't know. I just people need to be mindful of that. Everybody is so focused on the income tax, but if you add it all up together, people are paying so much in tax, and we got to stop it. We got to fight for lower taxes, because that means more money in your pocket.
Very good point.
Security.
Absolutely, 100% correct. I agree.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for the
Appreciate
call.
it. Love your show.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Bye. All right, that was a great call. He's right on point. It's so many taxes you pay. It's crazy. Sales tax, and then it's like state to state is different. Income tax, state income tax, federal income tax, excise tax, just all kind of little taxes and fees, which ain't nothing but taxes if they come from the government. But just so many fees, taxes, little things that add up. That's the whole subscription model that you got going on right now with Netflix and Hulu and Postmates and this mate and that mate. All these little things add up to a big bill. And it's to a certain point where it's like, how can I spend any money, any actual cash? I don't have any. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Cigar Bucks. How are you?
Everything is good, man. What's going on?
Craziness. I gotta say something. On my Zoo Java channel, I used 2 of your videos as a reference, and I hope that's okay. I didn't know how to get in touch with you to say, like, is it kosher? I just put the, like if people wanted to see them, I just, put it down in the description box.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I didn't want to, really bug you or anything, but I didn't know how to ask you, right? So, but I just put it in there, when I watched that debate last night, I could not believe the pandering horse crap. And what got me was so much of this talking about how they're saying, basically, they are so racist by saying almost that black people don't know how to go and get an ID to vote. And I thought, why does nobody smack them in the face and say, there was a picture of, 200-300 people lined up to get a driver's license at the DMV in New York City who were all illegal aliens. They figured it out. If they can figure out how to get an ID, and they don't even speak the language, half of them. How come citizens of our own country can't?
That is a fantastic point right there. I'm glad you said that, because I didn't even put two and two together like that. But that's right on point. On the first day, it's like, okay, on the first day, you can get a license in New York if you're an illegal alien, line around the block. Speaking no English, they might say yes and no. That's it in English. And they might speak that in a different language. So, but they know how to get an ID. So to say that a black person, you've been living here your whole life, you don't know how to go get an ID. And then IDs are required in your everyday life. How are you driving the car? How are you going to the store? How are you doing anything without an ID? How are you working? How can you be living in society with no ID? Unless you live off the grid or something like that. But at that particular point, you be smart enough to go get one to vote if you know how to live off the grid without having the convenience of urban life.
Yeah, it's insane that they would, be so stupid to come out and say something like that. But, something else. Like, how come nobody's talking about this New Way Forward Act?
I mean, I keep hearing about that, but I've not looked into it. I've not heard a lot about it, but people are talking about it. But now the thing is this act like just kind of like a bill, or is it in law? Or what is it exactly?
Well, it's a proposal. 44 Democrats, of course, have signed on to this thing. They've written it out. It's as long as the what is it? The Bill of Rights or something. The thing is like massive. And what it says is you can't deport anybody for crimes, and crimes up to and including. And this is what kills me about why don't they just let Weinstein go? Because some of the crimes that they can't let you get deported for are acts of moral turpitude, which is like child molestation.
Oh wow!
If you have been deported for this stuff, this is retroactive. They can apply from their country, I'm assuming at the U.S. Embassy, to be brought back here on American money to reapply, and they will get a citizenship. Doesn't matter what they've done, right? And these are people who have already been found. Like we don't want them in the country, deported. This is going to be costing, just in the airfare alone, to bring this garbage back, like in the billions.
Oh yeah,
because of the people that they're allowing. It's going back like about 10 years or something. It's insane. So you're going to have all these MS-13 morons and everything. Everybody who's gone, and it doesn't matter. Like rapes, sexual assaults, no problem. You can't be deported for it. This is what they're saying. They're absolutely nuts. 44 of these retards have signed on to this. And so for anybody who wants to take a look into it, it's called the New Way Forward Act. And I have no idea why this isn't like huge news. People aren't screeching about it. It's almost like I'd rather have the coronavirus than to have this.
I hear you on that one.
Anyways, I'm going to let you go, man. I've been on too long, and it's getting late. So have a great night. Keep it up, and you're doing great, man. Thanks a lot.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks to my man Cigar Box for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. All right, I got a little bit of time left to take a few more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And again, this show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, absolutely free. I put it up on Friday morning. Wednesday show, Friday morning, audio platform. Saturday show, Monday morning, audio platform. Everything is totally free, 1000%. Just subscribe to it. If you can't watch the video for whatever the reason, bandwidth restrictions, or you just want to have it on a podcast platform, it'll be there for you. And thank you to everybody that has subscribed to me on some of those audio streaming platforms so far. All righty, let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 818.
Hi, I'm Isaac. You might remember about 3 weeks back that my mom, Marina Rutherford, called talking about how the Democrats or someone, I forgot, gave her a letter something else. I'm sorry. My memory's a little bit fogged up. I just want to say thank you for making a lot of people straight about politics and a lot of stuff like that. Because without people like you, this world would be not at all aware of what is happening. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
All right now. All right, shout out to the young man. I wanted to ask him how old he was, but I could tell that he just wanted to say that and be up out of here. But thank you for that, man. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to all the young people that watch. It means a lot, seriously. It really does. All right, let's go. 724, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Justin. JD Ski. Hey, I super chat you the other day, last night, and I was making points on Bernie Sanders about the whole communist thing. And my point I wanted to talk about was this would be the biggest downfall in probably the Democratic Party if they put him in as the nominee, because I don't think there would be anything that they could come back to that, that would be just their downfall for the whole entire party for probably years to come.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that too, because I mean, they know, well, I think that they should know that they're going to lose this election regardless. But by putting somebody in there as a nominee, that can mean a lot for a lot of different people, and it can have long-lasting ramifications. You put Bernie Sanders in there, that's going to impact the election in a lot of different ways. You're going to have the down ballot people suffer. People that are just trying to run locally are going to suffer. It's going to be a problem. And then your AOCs of the world, your Rashida Tlaibs and Ilhan Omar's, all these far leftists are going to go even further left. They're going to be even more empowered, and that's going to just drag the party all the way down, and it'd be very bad for them. And I feel bad for anybody that lives in the Democratic area that has to be up under that kind of ridiculousness.
Are you going to make a video on the dude from ABC, that Project Veritas did?
I've already done that, actually. I did that today. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't really been paying attention to YouTube at the moment. I
Oh,
just
it's
saw
all-
that you're alive. So.
Yeah, like I just put it out like at 4:30, so it's a pretty new video.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty funny that they can't even. If ABC would just come out and say, "Hey, we are democratically run or have the agenda," I don't think anybody would have a problem. Just like some news, like you would be more. You call yourself conservative, right? I mean.
Yes, I mean, like I'm out in front with it. I wear Trump Pence 20 hats. Like, I'm honest. Like, I agree with you. It's like, okay, if you're going to be left wing, if you're going to be a part of Disney, which they are, ABC, so is ESPN, just be out in front with it. Don't try to hide like you're, non-biased and you're centrist. Just be honest, and I think I respect you more. And it'll just make for more balance on television. Let everybody say what they are from the beginning and stop trying to pretend like they're not.
If Joe Biden doesn't win South Carolina, on Super Tuesday, is there a state that Bernie Sanders could lose? I don't see it. Maybe if Klobuchar might get Minnesota because he's close to Michigan if she stays around that long. But I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he pretty much run it. There may be a state here and there, but I think he'll pretty much run it.
Like Tennessee or Alabama.
I mean, because the thing about it, in Tennessee, Alabama, you're not going to have many Democratic voters anyway. So it's kind of a toss-up. Whoever is the most popular amongst the two Democrats that are here. I mean, like, I'm in Tennessee. I can wear MAGA hats. I can put on Trump stuff, and there is no problem. Everybody's cool. I was in the Chinese food store, like the small Chinese food spot. An Asian dude might have spoke 2 words of English out on the MAGA hat. That's kind of how it is down here. So, yeah, he might get elected on the Democratic side, but nobody really cares about him down here.
I live down here in Florida, and it's funny. I seen an African American dude who was pretty young wearing a MAGA hat, and I was just laughing. And it was like, that's pretty funny.
It's gonna be normal. You're seeing it more and more, and that was my goal when I came to YouTube. I was like, I want this to be a normal thing. Black conservatives, I want us to be normal and that an abnormality. You're gonna see that a lot. Like the election is gonna shock people. It's gonna be really a sight to see.
Yeah, I'm glad that people are getting more awake to seeing that the system is using them as just a pawn, and they really have to open up their minds to persuade that you work for us, and I don't work for you. You work for us the people. So
that's right.
And I think that more people need to hold the government accountable for what they do. So, and giving more government power is not the thing to do. And Bernie Sanders will not win because he won't win like states like Pennsylvania, he's not going to win West Virginia, but Ohio would go back. I mean, there's a couple states that Trump didn't win. He could probably win if Bernie Sanders would be on the ballot.
Right.
So because you're going to say, I'm going to ban fracking, and you're going to lose Michigan, you're going to lose Pennsylvania, Ohio. Like those are the states you need, and he's in my mind just kind of and the Democrats are so softball on him. I know Buttigieg was trying to get on him, but it's not going to be like when Trump gets on Bernie Sanders about all the comments that he said in the 1970s, and he said some pretty irate things like in his mid-30s. So, I think that's going to come up, and Trump's going to play hardball with that. So.
Right, definitely.
But that's all I had to say. And shout out to your mods. What a great community you got. So your mods helping hold it down, and it's not. I like your chat. It's not toxic. So props to all your mods, and the community that you built is an excellent one. So let's keep it tight and get Trump 2020. Have a good night, sir.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And let's get to the next call here. Let's go 470. You're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. Did you see? Well, I know you saw it. You did a video on it, Anthony.
A video on what?
You know what he did. You know my man Pete Booty, Anthony.
You talking about Pete Buttigieg? What you call him?
Pete Booty, Anthony. You know his name. Say his name, Anthony.
I'll pass on that. What about him?
Say his name, Anthony.
I'll pass on that, sir. What about him?
Excuse me, Anthony's man, boo. But you know the video you did about him and the little 9-year-old boy, Anthony.
About who?
The little 9-year-old boy that came on stage so he could live his truth, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a 9-year-old should be talking about they're gay and then coming out to the whole world about it. I don't think that's probably not really appropriate.
Whatever, Anthony. That boy is living his truth, Anthony.
No, I think the boy need to be focused on just, going to school and figuring out what's going on in the world rather than trying to come out and be gay. And I think Buttigieg, AJs, or whatever it is, should be more responsible and say, all right, son, you're a little young, might be kind of confused, live a little bit, and then make a decision. 9 years old was way too early to be talking about stuff like that.
Whatever, Anthony. That boy has stepped into the light, Anthony. He has stepped into the LGBTQ, ABCD, EARU all the times. Watch him in the Anthony.
All right.
And Anthony, I just want to let you know that even though I am part of the LGBTQ, ABCD, EFG community, Anthony, I want you to know I am in a straight relationship, Anthony.
How that work?
It's a heterosexual relationship. Because, Anthony, I am a woman and my man is a man, Anthony.
But I hear a dude voice. So how that work?
They saying that it's supposed to be you in the background, Anthony.
No. I think
Whatever, Anthony. It's something wrong with you anyway, Anthony.
no. I'm straight and literally more ways than one. So don't get it twisted.
Whatever, Anthony. I will turn you around. But anywho, babe. What is this coronavirus, Anthony? What is this all about, Anthony?
Some Chinese people over there eating bats and cats and rats then made a new disease and now it's threatening the whole world.
Well, I just had me some chicken lo mein and some corona, Anthony. Am I gonna get sick, Anthony?
No, I think you'd be all right. I think you'd be fine.
I hope so. But anywho, I'd rather have Bud Light syndrome anyway, Anthony.
Hey, then go for that then. Just rock with that. No coronas.
Well, and did you see the debate yesterday, Anthony?
Oh, of course I saw it. I streamed it and everything. It was entertaining. They were just in the cage match, no real moderation. It was fun.
What's so wrong with them, Anthony? But they weren't talking about my restorations, Anthony.
About what now?
My restorations, Anthony. You know, give me some money, Anthony.
Oh, reparations, you mean?
Restorations, yes, Anthony. You know what I'm talking about, Anthony.
Okay. Now you think they're gonna give it to you?
Yeah, they need to give us our restoration, Anthony. What's wrong with you? You don't want your restorations?
I don't want my reparations because it ain't gonna happen no way. And if it did, it'd come from my own money. So I don't need the government to take my own money and give it right back to me. It don't make no sense.
Well, let me hear your restorations, Anthony.
All right, hey, if good luck getting it because anybody gonna get it.
Whatever, Anthony. Well, Anthony, I'm finna go because I got to go out here and keep Atlanta gay, Anthony. You know, you got your little CAG hat and your MAG hat, so I got my own. You know, we gonna keep Atlanta gay and make Atlanta gay again. Okay, Anthony?
All right, thank you for the call.
And Anthony?
What's up?
You know, if you see Kevin from Kevin's Corner with that big burly beard and my favorite amazing look.
Look, it's a family show. It's a family show. I need you to keep it under control. Look, we don't got time for all this. This is a family show. Keep it under control, all right?
Okay, Anthony, Brian, Logan. I'll see you next time, Anthony.
All right now. Bye.
Bye-bye, Anthony.
That caller is crazy. I still have not figured out who that is. Somebody that always is a consistent show, always calling. I still don't know who that is. But shout out to that person for for taking a joke. You know, they calling in, obviously a man. I say, hey, you have a dude voice, sir. They're not getting triggered about being misgender and whatnot. So shout out to them for being a good sport for the dude jokes. But let me get to the next call here. 716 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Michael.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. How you doing?
All right.
Listen, the only reason I'm calling is to tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing, and keep on keeping on, brother.
Well, thank you for that, man. I definitely appreciate you. It means a lot to me.
Yes, I've been watching you for a while now, and it's what you're doing is fantastic, and like I said, I really appreciate it, and I feel like you're a brother to me, man. So just keep on keeping on.
Will do, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. You have a good day.
Same to you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I think I'll leave that right there for now. That's because we're at 11 o'clock and I got to go ahead and wrap it on up, put a bow on top. Somebody said, Tucker said that on the show tonight, wrap it on up, put a bow on top. Shout out to him. If he watches the show, hey, that's great. If he got it from me, which I doubt, but if he did, hey, shout out to you for watching, man. If you're watching, thank you. But that will be a wrap for me tonight. It's been a fun show as always, and we have the best audience on YouTube, the best community on YouTube. And thank you to my super chatters before I go ahead and wrap up. Shout out to Matthew who says, ABL, you're wrong. 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment. All right. That was about the call earlier about stop and frisk. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to my man, Coach Sushi, who says, donating this on behalf of Ivan. He's always here telling us how dumb we are, but too cheap to contribute anything but insults to the stream. Exactly. That's a very good point. Never see him donate. But thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Claudia Dawkins for the emoji super chat. I appreciate it. She says, thank you. Well, thank you. And you're welcome. Thank you to Mnemonic, who says, just finished watching Glenn Beck's on the Blaze take on all the radicals and Bernie's administration. Do you know how bad it is? It is scary. I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen some Project Veritas undercover stuff, and this as bad as I think that it is. And thank you for that. Thank you to my man, Kelsushi. He says, Bernie Tech says I will lose $3,640 in income. That's a lot of money. A whole lot of bread there. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Jay Evans, who says, Bernie is saying we pay more in healthcare than his plan. So why taxes need to go up? Exactly. If we already pay more in healthcare than what his plan calls for, why pay more in taxes? It doesn't make any sense. You should be able to pay for it with what you already are getting and have money left over. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to Say Hi, who says, another good show, ABL. Thanks, brother. Well, thank you for your support, your donation, and your very kind words. I most certainly appreciate you. That'll be a wrap for me. Thank y'all for joining. Again, this show will be available on audio streaming platforms. I think that'll be probably Friday morning for this show. The Saturday show will be Monday morning, and it's absolutely free. In case you can't download the video or whatever the case is, you want to just hear it on the audio streaming platform, Anchor, Stitcher, eventually Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever you want, it'll be right there for you. And thanks to the moderators, of course. We got Bill from the Hills, Liza Jean, Shreebs, I see you. We got Ansel. We got Killer Sushi. We have all you guys, Liza Jean, for keeping the commenters to, keeping everything nice and smooth. That's why I like to have a nice, clean, smooth chat, a non-toxic chat. You guys help to keep that rocking. So that'll be a wrap. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.